Chapter 708. Ning Fan didn't expect that a corner of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor's formation runes would be stolen by the Yin-Yang locket. However, there was no reason for him to reject a formation mark that he had picked up for free. Besides, it was impossible for Ning Fan to return the formation mark with both hands. This was the ancient Chaos Great Emperor's formation runes, and he was the successor of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor. The auction has ended. Master Yun let out a long sigh and announced weakly. The old monsters left in a hurry, afraid that the celestial sovereign was still hiding here and something unexpected would happen. It was better to leave as soon as possible. Celestial sovereigns were also known as 10,000 ancient celestial sovereigns. They were people who had transcended the ages and were above countless true immortals. No true immortal could defeat an immortal venerable, let alone a life immortal. The difference between a life immortal and an immortal venerable was like the difference between a vein opening and a void fragmentation. Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan also stood up at the same time, preparing to leave. Ning Fan was not afraid of that non-existent immortal venerate 10,000 ancient. Now that the auction had ended, it was time for him to deal with another matter. Do you know which area of the Shaozi Star region Senior Wei Qi is currently at? Ning Fan asked Ouyang Nuan through telepathy. It's probably in this area. Ouyang Nuan took out Wei Qi's life token and made some deductions. Then she took out the astrolabe of the Shaozi galaxy and made some deductions on it. The location was roughly in the northern region of Shaozi Star region. The Shaozi North region is a vast sea of stars. How are we going to find a person? Damn it, why did someone capture Uncle Wei? Perhaps that person came for you? Ning Fan said thoughtfully. What do you mean? Ouyang Nuan was confused. It's nothing, I just have some guesses. Don't worry, I'm proficient in a secret technique, and I'm best at finding people in a wide area. The Shaozi North region is indeed vast. With my cultivation level, I'll be able to find Senior Wei Qi's whereabouts after casting the mystic skill more than 10 times. The secret technique that Ning Fan mentioned was naturally the Rain Ancestors' Heavenly Peering Rain technique. As Ning Fan's spirit sense and magic power improved, the search range of his Peering Heaven Rain technique also increased continuously. The two of them left the Shaozi planet, and Ouyang Nuan kept the little furball into the spirit beast bag. After all, its cultivation was too low, and it could not withstand the power of the void. Ning Fan rode the ancient sword and held the star compass in his hand, carrying Ouyang Nuan all the way to the northern region. Every day he traveled, he would display the heavenly peering rain technique. The rain spell could cover half of a low-level planet region with its immortal will. Every time he used the rain spell, rain would fall from the void between several low-ranked cultivation planets. Such a powerful technique. Ouyang Nuan's beautiful eyes were filled with splendor. Even a life immortal wouldn't be able to spread their spirit sense this far. Only a true immortal of the Crossing Truth realm could extend his divine sense to half the distance of a low-grade starfield. This technique consumed a lot of Ning Fan's magical power. Every time he used the rain technique, he would need a lot of time to recover his magical power. On the third day, Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan settled down on an abandoned planet to rest. Just as he recovered a little of his magic power, several sharp killing intents rushed towards this abandoned planet. They were 3 rogue immortals. Judging from their appearances, Ning Fan remembered that they were the 3 devil lords with a bounty of 6 million, 9 million and 5 million respectively. Ning Fan did not act immediately. He wanted to know if these people were coming for him or Ouyang Nuan. Ouyang Nuan was slightly nervous. Although she was an expert in alchemy, due to her body condition, she was not good at fighting. Her cultivation was also weak. Don't be afraid. Ning Fan smiled faintly. That smile had a strange power that made Ouyang Nuan feel relieved. I'm not afraid. The 3 rogue immortals looked at Ning Fan and exclaimed in surprise. Old Ancestor Qian Qiu. This doesn't match the information we have. Ouyang Nuan isn't alone. Retreat. With just this sentence, Ning Fan was already convinced that the 3 of them were coming for Ouyang Nuan. Moreover, they had a plan in mind. Ning Fan's appearance had disrupted their plan. As expected, Ning Fan seemed to have confirmed something. If that's the case, I should be able to obtain a lot of information after killing the three of them and searching their souls and memories. He took a step forward and turned into black robes. After extracting and devouring their souls, Ning Fan's body suddenly turned into black shadows that spread out and swept towards the three rogue immortals. Black Tempest Soul Splitting Technique. At the moment the technique was displayed, the expressions of the three rogue immortals changed drastically. Realizing that they had nowhere to run, their eyes flashed with extreme ruthlessness. Each of them exploded their primordial spirit without any hesitation. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The power of the self-detonation of three rogue immortals was so powerful that even an ordinary life immortal realm expert would have to fend it off in a flurry. The aftermath of the self-detonation went straight for Ouyang Nuan. They actually wanted to kill her even if they had to risk their lives. Be careful. Ning Fan's expression changed. The black shadows scattered and condensed, appearing in front of Ouyang Nuan in the blink of an eye. However, he could not get close to her in time. At this distance, he could not keep Ouyang Nuan inside the Yuan Yao world to avoid the magic technique. This distance could not help Ouyang Nuan avoid the aftermath of the self-detonation of the three rogue immortals. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with determination. Black starlight flashed around his body. He opened his mouth and swallowed the self-detonation of the three rogue immortals into his stomach. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of the explosion came from Ning Fan's stomach. He felt a sharp pain in his chest and took a step back. He actually destroyed the cultivation planet that was on the verge of collapsing. His injuries were not light. Ning Fan. All of a sudden, Ouyang Nuan's face turned pale. She held on to Ning Fan who was falling from the void. When she touched Ning Fan's ice-cold hand, her heart turned cold. Ouyang Nuan's five-colored medicine soul entered Ning Fan's body. When she sensed the severe injuries in his body, she felt extremely guilty. If it wasn't because he wanted to save her, Ning Fan had a way to withstand the self-detonation of the three rogue immortals without swallowing the self-detonation wave. How could his injuries be light after swallowing the self-detonation wave into his body? I'm fine. It's just that my magic power has yet to recover in the first place. That's why I look a little weak. Ning Fan gritted his teeth slightly and summoned the ancient golden sword, making it hover in the void. The two of them landed on the ancient sword. They finally had a place to stand. Ning Fan sat cross-legged on the ancient sword. He quickly consumed a pill and used the starlight to heal his injuries. His injuries were indeed a little heavy. However, it was far from the injuries he suffered when he forcefully broke through the realm-breaking light sea. In at most 2 hours, Ning Fan's injuries would be completely healed. This was the power of 8,800 black stars. If he condenses 10,000 black stars, he would not be afraid even when facing an early profound mortal realm life immortal realm expert. He would be unscathed in 100 battles. When Ouyang Nuan saw that Ning Fan's injuries were recovering rapidly, she felt slightly relieved. However, she was still filled with guilt. She did not say thank you because she understood that a shallow word of gratitude could not express anything at all. They want to kill you. Why do you think they want to kill you? And why do they want to capture Wei Qi? 2 hours later, Ning Fan's injuries were fully healed. His magic power had returned to its peak. I don't know. Ouyang Nuan shook her head helplessly. Even though the medicine sect was powerful, it definitely had a lot of enemies. She could not think of anyone who wanted to kill her. However, with her sharp mind, she instantly understood the deeper meaning of Ning Fan's words. Killing with a borrowed knife. Ouyang Nuan suddenly exclaimed. The person who could capture Senior Wei Qi naturally has the ability to kill you. However, he doesn't dare to do so. Your body contains the 9 revolutions death-chasing pill which was concocted by your master. If that person directly kills you, your master will certainly notice it. Therefore, he captured Wei Qi and lured you out of Shao's star. Then he asked unrelated people to kill you. If I'm not mistaken, these assassins don't know who their employer is at all. It's useless even if they search their memories. After you die, Wei Qi will die as well. Then no one will know who killed you. Ning Fan analyzed carefully. Ouyang Nuan nodded her head. She completely agreed with Ning Fan's analysis. Who is it that wants to kill me? How many true immortals are there in the medicine sect? Ning Fan did not answer her question but asked another question instead. There's only my master. You mean this person is a member of my medicine sect? Otherwise, who else would be able to lure Wei Qi out of Xiao's star willingly and capture him? If this person is a member of the medicine sect, everything will make sense. He's an acquaintance. Therefore, he only needs to send a voice transmission flying sword to lure Wei Qi out. If he's an acquaintance, as long as he has a life immortal realm cultivation base, he can trick Wei Qi and capture him even if his cultivation base is lower than Wei Qi's. Of course, there's also the possibility that this person's cultivation base is extremely high and has reached the ghost profound realm. If he's a member of the medicine sect, he's naturally afraid that your master will know his identity. Impossible. All the uncles in the medicine sect are very kind to me. I can sense it. It's hard to predict a person's heart. Your medicine soul is special, but it's not omnipotent. Your medicine soul can sense the evil in people's hearts. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the ability to hide his true self. Forget it. This is just my speculation. Perhaps he's not a member of the medicine sect at all. You don't have to take it seriously. I've rested enough. Let's continue our search for Senior Wei Qi. However, from now on, you must be extremely careful. If anything happens, I will immediately keep you in my small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure. You must be mentally prepared. I got it. Yang Wan was feeling a little down. She naturally understood the principle that it was hard to predict a person's heart. However, she had never doubted her uncles. She had always treated the seniors of the medicine sect as her uncles. If she was really betrayed by her uncles, it would be no different from being betrayed by her family. The heartache could not be soothed by saying that it was hard to predict a person's heart. The 4th day, the 5th day, the 6th day, almost every day, Ning Fan and Yang Wan would be chased by a group of assassins. This time, Ning Fan had learned his lesson. Every time he encountered an enemy, he would immediately keep Yang Wan in the Yuan Yao world. Then he would carry out a one-sided slaughter on those assassins. These assassins were basically devils with bounties. After Ning Fan killed them all along the way, he had collected the heads of 17 devils with bounties. The total bounty had reached 140 million Dao crystals. All of the remaining assassins died by self-detonation. Ning Fan also searched the memories of some of them. As expected, there was no useful information. 15 days later, Ning Fan used the heaven-peering rain technique again. Rain fell on Tiantai Star. His eyes suddenly turned cold. He had found Wei Qi's whereabouts on Tiantai Star. Even though he had found him, he could not go there immediately. He needed to recover his magic power first. As expected, there were no true immortals among the enemies. It was good news. However, there were 2 early human profound realm life immortals. It would not be easy to save them. Ning Fan told Yang Wan the appearance of the 2 life immortals. After seeing them, Yang Wan heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, these 2 people were not from the medicine sect. On the contrary, they were from the pill sect. Harry Ball's father, you guessed it wrong. The enemies are from the pill sect. Yang Wan's mood turned from gloomy to sunny. Is that so? It couldn't be better. Ning Fan turned his hand and took out a small golden sword. It was a sword light that was condensed from 1,200 traces of sword ancestors' sword chi given to him by Emperor Xia. It could severely injure a life immortal with a single strike. Together with the attack from the steel of sun and moon, Ning Fan was confident that he could severely injure the 2 life immortals. However, it would only severely injure them. If he wants to kill them, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. With his current abilities, it would be very difficult for him to break through an immortal-grade defensive technique. If the steel of sun and moon and the small golden sword were to attack a life immortal at the same time, there was a high chance that he could kill one of them. However, the other person was definitely not someone Ning Fan could hurt. Of course, he still had a corner of the Great Sovereign Realm formation mark in his hand. However, this formation mark could kill all immortals below the true immortal realm. It could only be used once. If he uses it to kill 2 early human profound realm life immortals, it would be too wasteful. Tiantai Star, Cloud Cliff Sect. Inside the Cloud Cliff Sect, there was dead silence. The entire sect had been massacred. On Tiantai Star, countless cultivation countries, sects and Xiao clan members were massacred. Their corpses were everywhere. On the peak of Cloud Cliff Mountain, an old man in black robes who was covered in wounds was imprisoned in a stone chamber. That old man was none other than Wei Qi. Currently, he had been planted with layers of restrictive spells. He could neither speak nor use any of his magic power. He could only use his eyes to express his anger. In front of him stood 2 pill sect life immortals. Both of them were wearing green pill robes. One of them was tall while the other was fat. The 2 of them were fiddling with the storage pouch in their hands. One of them nodded his head in satisfaction while the other one's eyes were filled with dissatisfaction. I didn't expect that after massacring an entire low-grade cultivation planet, we would only get this little thing. There really isn't any profit to be gained from a low-grade cultivation planet. The taller life immortal said indignantly. However, after massacring an entire cultivation planet, my soul banner has collected quite a number of high-quality living souls. Its power has increased by quite a lot. The fat life immortal chuckled. His face was full of fats. While the 2 of them were talking, their eyes suddenly turned cold and they exchanged glances. The taller life immortal continued to watch over Wei Qi while the fat life immortal flashed. His body turned into a ray of black light and disappeared into the ground beneath his feet. Outside the Cloud Cliff Mountain, a young man in black robes appeared. The 2 pill sect life immortals had naturally heard about this young man in black robes. He was none other than Ning Fan, who had killed countless of their assassins. It was said that Ning Fan was traveling with the eldest miss of the Ouyang family. Since he was here, Ouyang Nuan was most likely nearby as well. Looking at Ning Fan's fearless expression, perhaps he already knew that there were 2 life immortals guarding this place. Is he trying to lure us away from our territory? Are there any other reinforcements who are trying to save Wei Qi? With that thought in mind, the 2 life immortal realm experts would certainly not attack a void fragmentation realm kid at the same time. One of them would kill Ning Fan while the other would stay behind to prevent the enemy from luring them away from their territory. Ning Fan's eyes were cold as he stared at the Cloud Cliff Mountain. Before he showed himself, he had already unleashed his full combat power. Thus, he naturally did not dare to be careless in the face of a life immortal realm expert. When he sensed that a life immortal realm expert was missing from the stone chamber on the peak of the Cloud Cliff Mountain, Ning Fan's heart was filled with alarm. With his current cultivation base, it would be very difficult for him to detect a sneak attack from a life immortal realm expert. Fortunately, after cultivating the great 5 elements physique, Ning Fan's perception towards the power of the 5 elements had become especially sharp. All of a sudden, Ning Fan leaped into the sky and looked down at the ground. The fat life immortal realm expert suddenly emerged from the ground. He raised his hand and clawed at the place where Ning Fan was standing just now. Fortunately, Ning Fan reacted in time and managed to avoid the attack. As soon as the attack missed its target, a large piece of land was immediately torn apart. The entire cultivation planet was shaking violently. This was the power of a life immortal realm expert's casual attack. The word immortal was far beyond the reach of a first-step cultivator. A life immortal realm expert isn't someone I can defeat. Ning Fan frowned. Even though he knew that he was not as strong as the fat life immortal realm expert, he would never back down. He was indebted to Ouyang Nuan. He would certainly help her. Young man, you're really fast at escaping. It seems like you're going to be a decent living soul. The fat life immortal realm expert licked his lips and continued. If you hand Ouyang Nuan over willingly, I will spare your spiritual consciousness and let you be a happy living soul. However, if you remain stubborn, the fat life immortal realm expert suddenly took out a devil flag which was filled with devil chi. It was a low-grade immortal treasure. As soon as the flag rose into the sky, billions of living souls flew out from it. For a moment, the sky turned dark and the earth turned dark. Yin Qi covered the sky and ghosts wailed and gods howled. As soon as the billions of living souls appeared, they immediately fused with one another. In an instant, they turned into 72 giant ghosts. Each of them had the cultivation base of a rogue immortal. If you remain stubborn, I will certainly make you beg for death. The Fat Life Immortal Realm expert sneered. Is that so? Ning Fan took a deep breath and abruptly raised his palm towards the sky. Immediately, a 60,000 zhang large fire monument appeared in his hand. He raised his hand and made a series of hand seals. The fire monument immediately rose into the sky and turned into a gigantic mountain made of yin flames. The mountain was only 60,000 zhang tall. However, its weight was as heavy as half a low-grade cultivation planet. As for Ning Fan, 90% of his magic power had been consumed in just a few seconds. Dual Spirit Monument Technique, Yin Flames Mountain. As soon as he said that, the gigantic mountain made of yin flames immediately smashed down at a terrifying speed. The Devil Flag Immortal Treasure was directly smashed into pieces by the gigantic mountain made of yin flames. The 72 rogue Immortal Realm experts were instantly smashed into meat paste by the gigantic mountain made of yin flames. The originally arrogant Fat Life Immortal Realm expert no longer had the slightest bit of arrogance on his face. As soon as he saw the gigantic mountain made of yin flames crashing down, his soul almost left his body. Without saying a word, he fled into the ground. He could not imagine that an ant who was just at the 7th break realm could actually display such a terrifying ability. He desperately fled into the cultivation planet of Tiantai Planet, hoping to avoid the attack of the gigantic mountain. Unfortunately, he had overestimated the power of the gigantic mountain. The force of the gigantic mountain heavily smashed onto the cultivation planet. The entire planet immediately trembled and the mountains shook. Then, with a loud rumbling sound, the planet was split into two halves. A low-grade cultivation planet was crushed by Ning Fan's ability just like that. Fortunately, even though the planet was split apart, it was still temporarily pieced together and did not split into two halves. The Fat Life Immortal Realm expert who was hiding underground was directly thrown out of the ground by the tremendous force. As soon as he came out of the ground, he immediately fell to the ground and coughed out blood. His body was almost flattened into a meat paste. However, he was still alive. However, his injuries were extremely severe. Without 1,000 years of recuperation, he would definitely not be able to recover. At this moment, he was extremely weak and his strength had been reduced by 70%. However, he was so angry that he laughed. "Little Chinchio, how dare you hurt me? If I don't kill you, I swear that I'm not a man." Ning Fan, who was also extremely weak, looked at the Fat Life Immortal Realm expert expressionlessly. However, his hand quietly reached into his sleeve. There was a small golden sword there. No more updates. Happy Double 7th Festival, everyone. Chapter 709. Chinchio. I have to admit that your divine ability is very powerful. However, it is a pity that with your cultivation, using that kind of attack once will almost exhaust all of your magic power. Perhaps you are invincible below the Life Immortal Realm, but if you want to surpass the Immortal Realm and challenge a Life Immortal, you have no chance of winning. Life-burning pill. Even though the Fat Life Immortal was severely injured, his aura force was still far stronger than Ning Fan's. He took out a fiery red pill and swallowed it. Then he walked towards Ning Fan step by step. With every step he took, his flesh and blood would burn on their own, disappearing at an astonishing speed while his injuries healed at a rapid pace. After taking 10 steps, the Fat Life Immortal was only 10,000 zhang away from Ning Fan. He had already become as thin as a stick. His injuries were mostly healed within 10 steps. Ning Fan's eyes darkened slightly. This person was a pill ancestor expert, so he was naturally a pill cultivator. As an alchemist, he naturally had quite a few medicinal pills on him. Using medicinal pills to aid in battle and heal, he was truly a troublesome opponent. They couldn't give him any more time to heal. The Fat Life Immortal Realm expert suddenly raised his head and stared at Ning Fan coldly. With a sneer, He took out another ice blue pill and was about to consume it. It was a secret pill that could greatly increase one's strength in a short period of time. Ning Fan, of course, would not give the fat immortal life immortal any more time to consume the pills. He raised his hand and pointed a finger at him. 4 illusory vortexes appeared around the fat immortal life immortal. Between the 2 whirlpools, beams of light shot out and pierced through the life immortal's body. The light beams crossed each other. For a moment, the fat life immortal couldn't move and couldn't put the pill into his mouth. This was one of the ways to cast the whirlpool spell, whirlpool intersecting. This technique was unable to harm a cultivator, but it could borrow the power of the heavenly grottos to lock the space around the cultivator, making it impossible for him to move. The moment he locked the fat life immortal's hand, he tapped the ground with the tip of his toes and put his left hand into his sleeve. His eyes were cold as he stared at the fat life immortal. The fat life immortal squinted his eyes as he was frozen by the light pillar. When he saw Ning Fan dashing towards him, he sneered. Not a bad technique. It's a pity that you haven't cultivated this technique to its peak. Otherwise, even if you haven't entered the life immortal realm, you can easily stop me with this technique. But now, don't even think about stopping me. The fat life immortal's energy shook, and the 4 illusory whirlpools immediately shattered. Looking at Ning Fan, who was coming towards him, the fat life immortal realm immortal flicked the icy blue pill in his hand and changed his hand seals. This ice blue pill could be consumed, but it could also be used as a hidden weapon. Streams of ice flames flowed out from the pill. In an instant, the pill turned into the shadow of a dark blue ice flame giant. It raised its hand and threw a punch at Ning Fan. Boom! This punch came too quickly. Ning Fan hurriedly turned his body into a black shadow, but he was still severely injured by this attack. His entire body was in excruciating pain as if it was being torn apart. When the black shadow condensed again, Ning Fan had already passed the ice flame giant and appeared 100 zhang away from the obese life immortal. His face was pale and blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His injuries were severe, but the ruthlessness in his eyes did not diminish. There wasn't a single part of his body that didn't hurt, but it only made his fighting spirit soar to the skies. With a flip of his hand, a small golden sword appeared in his left palm. He raised his hand and threw it at the fat life immortal's den. On the other side, the fat life immortal realm immortal snorted coldly after severely injuring Ning Fan with a single blow. He was quite disdainful of Ning Fan's arrogance. In his opinion, Ning Fan would at most be killed after receiving 7 to 8 more punches from the ice flame giant. He admitted that Ning Fan was definitely an unrivaled expert at the first step of Dao cultivation. Unfortunately, even so, he did not believe that Ning Fan could defeat him. How can an ant at the first step of Dao cultivation defeat an immortal at the second step? The fat life immortal realm immortal sneered. Just as he was about to perform a hand seal to command the ice flame giant to attack Ning Fan again, all of a sudden, the fat life immortal realm immortal raised his hand and took out a small golden sword when he saw Ning Fan approaching him. The moment he saw the small golden sword, his body began to tremble uncontrollably. His expression changed drastically. From this small golden sword, he felt a sense of crisis of certain death. This time, the power of the small golden sword's attack was even slightly stronger than the previous In Flame Mountain. With the current weakened body of the fat life immortal realm immortal, he certainly could not withstand such an attack. Impossible! You're just a 7th step broken realm cultivator. Why do you have so many powerful trump cards? I don't believe it. The fat life immortal realm immortal's expression was ferocious and crazy. He patted his storage pouch and took out a handful of colorful pills. Then he swallowed all of them. At the same time, the small golden sword flashed and turned into 1,200 rays of sword light with terrifying power. They formed a storm of blades that engulfed him. The rays of sword light easily cut his immortal body. Streaks of sword chi easily surged into his body and destroyed his immortal meridians and essence spirit without restraint. The powerful power of the pills was forcefully repairing the broken body of the fat life immortal realm immortal. Both of his eyes were bloodshot. He attacked crazily, crushing the rays of sword light with every raise of his hand. His injuries were getting worse and his chi was getting weaker and weaker. However, the more he fought, the more courageous he became. The sword chi was decreasing continuously. His life force was also decreasing at a faster speed. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Feeling the chi in his body getting weaker and weaker, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal gritted his teeth in anger. Damn it. I've underestimated Ning Fan too much. A mere 7th step Broken Realm Immortal was actually this strong. His strength was not much weaker than mine. However, an ant will always be an ant. It's not that easy to kill me. Immortal Shattering Technique. Without any hesitation, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal began to form hand seals with all 10 of his fingers, displaying a forbidden technique. This technique was widely known in the Four Heavens immortal world. It was a technique that countless immortals would only display when they were risking their lives. The Immortal Shattering Technique could suppress all injuries within a short period of time, allowing the user to unleash their full strength at the cost of falling from the immortal realm forever. It was a life-saving technique that many immortals who were in a desperate situation would use. The hand seals of the Immortal Shattering Technique were very complicated. However, with the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal's speed, he had already formed hundreds of hand seals in just a few moments. He had completed half of the hand seals. I can't let him finish forming the hand seals. Ning Fan's body was surrounded by starlight. He dashed into the storm of blades and his body was immediately penetrated by countless rays of sword light. Even though the injuries in his body were getting worse, Ning Fan did not hesitate at all. He raised his palm and his memory power condensed into a small black golden sword. The small sword grew in the wind and immediately turned into a 3 chi long black golden sword. The sword slashed down mercilessly, cutting off one of the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal's arm and forcefully interrupting his hand seals. Ah! The Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal shrieked in pain and stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. He did not expect that Ning Fan would rush into the storm of blades without hesitation in order to stop him from using the Immortal Shattering Technique. Ning Fan suffered the attacks of the sword light together with him. Ning Fan was unafraid of death. Moreover, he did not expect that Ning Fan had actually cultivated a type of Dao weapon. Even though that Dao weapon had never been refined before, it was too sharp. With just a single strike, it cut off his arm. Ning Fan was a lunatic who was not afraid of death. A lunatic who possessed a great Dao weapon. The Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal hated himself for underestimating Ning Fan. If he had consumed all of his trump cards right from the start, he would certainly be able to kill Ning Fan before Ning Fan could use his trump cards. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Which Life Immortal Realm Immortal would use all of his trump cards against an ant-like junior? Who would have thought that Ning Fan's combat power would be so high even though his cultivation base was low? At this moment, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal was trapped in the storm of sword light. If he does not use the Immortal Shattering Technique to suppress his injuries and increase his strength to forcefully break through the sword light, he would certainly die under the endless sword chi of the sword ancestor. Fight with your life. He wanted to fight Ning Fan to the death, but Ning Fan was also fighting him to the death. Now that he had lost an arm, he no longer had the chance to fight for his life. The next moment, the Fat Life Fairy's face twisted. He almost wanted to laugh out loud. If the Immortal Shattering art was blocked, he would definitely die in this storm of swords. He couldn't escape, he had nowhere to run. He would die without a doubt. Since he was going to die anyway, he must drag Ning Fan down with him before he dies. Explode! The Fat Life Immortal smirked. He wanted to detonate his primordial spirit and perish together with Ning Fan under the sky-covering sword light. Not in vain, not in vain. Since Ning Fan was able to cultivate a Dao soldier when he was at the Void Fragmentation realm, his innate potential was definitely enough to shock the world. Being able to drag Ning Fan down with me before I die is really worth it. Let's die together. Boom. An unimaginable explosion spread across the entire planet. The entire planet was under the attack of the Fat Life Celestial's self-destruction storm. Mountains and rivers were destroyed as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Spirit chi was crazily flowing away, and one cultivation country after another was razed to the ground. This was the power of a life immortal's self-destruction. After this battle, Tiantai planet would completely become a wasteland. No cultivators could stay and cultivate on this planet anymore. What? Old Man Gu was actually forced to such a state by that junior that he actually self-destructed. That junior is actually so powerful. The tall life immortal used all of his magic power to create a magic barrier to protect the entire Cloud Cliff Mountain. With his cultivation base, it was difficult for him to self-destruct under the explosion of a life immortal of the same level as him. However, he had no choice but to use some of his magic power to protect the Cloud Cliff Mountain. It was because Wei Qi was still imprisoned in the mountain. Before Ouyang Nuan died, Wei Qi must not die yet. As such, the tall life immortal was inevitably injured by the aftermath of the explosion. Even though it was just a light injury, it was still terrifying. After all, he had lived for hundreds of thousands of years. It was his first time seeing a life immortal expert being forced into a corner by a first-step cultivator and having no choice but to self-destruct. Fortunately, it was the fat life immortal who attacked Ning Fan just now and not him. If he was the one who attacked Ning Fan, he would probably end up like the fat life immortal, being forced to perish together with Ning Fan. Little Qianqiu, what a powerful junior. However, this junior must have died after being hit by the destructive force of Old Man Gu's self-destruction. After all, he was at the center of the explosion of a life immortal. Even if he hides in the small kiliocosm, he might not be able to avoid the damage. That Old Man Gu was able to drag a peerless genius down with him before he dies. The tall life immortal shook his head and sighed. After experiencing the baptism of the fat life immortal's self-destruction, the entire Tiantai planet had become a real wasteland. Other than the Cloud Cliff Mountain, there was no other mountain left on the entire cultivation planet. Perhaps it was time to change the place where Wei Qi was imprisoned. Before Old Man Gu died, he still needed to report to that person. Wei Qi was also injured by the aftermath of the explosion. He was chained tightly to the stone wall and his body was covered with countless layers of seals, preventing him from using his magic power. However, he was not completely unaware of the situation in the outside world. He had sensed that Ning Fan had come to Tiantai planet. He could guess that the reason Ning Fan came here was most likely to save him. As for the person who could invite Ning Fan, it was probably his mistress. That little friend Chen Qiu came to save me, but he lost his life for me. I owe him a favor, but I will never be able to repay him. I wonder where my mistress is now. I hope she didn't follow you to Tiantai planet. The most dangerous people on Tiantai planet are not the people of the pill sect but the scum of my medicine sect. When he thought of how he was captured, Wei Qi's heart was filled with rage. He really wanted to curse that traitor, but he could not make any sound because of the seals on his body. When he recalled the tragic battle where Ning Fan perished together with the life immortal, Wei Qi was filled with sorrow. Just as he was feeling sad, he suddenly saw the tall life immortal walking towards him. He took out a key and unlocked the shackles on his body. Wait, you have eaten the immortal sealing pill of my pill sect. Don't even think about using any of your magic power. You have been struck by my pill sect's dark word technique. Don't even think about speaking. Now, I am going to unlock your shackles and bring you to another cultivation planet to continue to imprison you. Let me give you a piece of advice. Don't try to play any tricks and don't try to escape. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you halfway. Wei Qi snorted coldly and glared at the tall life immortal. His eyes were filled with anger, but he did not resist. Now that he was on the chopping block, he would not make things difficult for the tall life immortal at this moment, even though he was furious. The heavy shackles were unlocked one by one. Just as the tall life immortal was about to lock Wei Qi into his heavenly abode and bring him away, a sharp sword light suddenly came from behind. He saw a young man in black robes who was covered in blood holding a black golden longsword with a pair of cold eyes. His body turned into a sword light and dashed towards the stone chamber. Little friend Qianqiu is actually still alive. Good. This is great. Wei Qi was both surprised and delighted. How is this possible? This man is just at the 7th fragmentation realm. It's impossible for him to survive from Old Man Gu's self-detonation storm. How did he survive? While the tall life immortal was still in shock, the black golden longsword had already pierced through his face. Half an inch more and it would have pierced through his skull. He already knew that Ning Fan's sword was an indestructible weapon of the great Tao from the previous battle. Thus, he naturally did not dare to face this sword head-on with his physical body. However, with his cultivation base, it was impossible for him to be pierced by Ning Fan's sword, which did not have any special abilities even if he was slightly distracted. With a sway of his body, the tall life immortal turned into a ray of green traveling light and flew 10,000 zhang away from the stone chamber on Cloud Cliff Mountain. His face was still filled with disbelief. He could not figure out how Ning Fan survived the self-detonation of a life immortal. Of course, he did not know that Ning Fan had already entered the profound Yin world the moment the fat life immortal decided to self-detonate. Even though he was lucky enough to avoid the extremely terrifying self-detonation of a life immortal, he was still injured by the sword ancestor's sword qi. As expected, a life immortal was not someone he could defeat. He had used up all of his trump cards and only managed to kill the fat life immortal by luck. The difficulty he had to go through was not worth mentioning to others. In addition to his previous injuries, Ning Fan was currently extremely weak. It was difficult for him to even stand. However, he still left the profound Yin world unexpectedly and showed himself just to save Wei Qi. If the taller life immortal took Wei Qi away and locked him up in another place, more life immortals might be summoned to guard him. At that time, it would be impossible to rescue Wei Qi. He had promised Ouyang Nuan that he would save 7th Wei, so he would definitely do it. Stroking Yuan Yaoyu, a ray of light flashed, and Ouyang Nuan walked out of the light. Seeing Ning Fan's heavily injured appearance and seeing Wei Qi falling to the ground while being protected by Ning Fan, his heart felt like it was being sliced by a knife. The perception of the 5-colored medicine soul was very powerful. Even though she was in the Yuan Yao world, she could clearly see the entire battle in the outside world. When she saw Ning Fan forcing the Fat Life Immortal Realm Cultivator to retreat with his 7th Break Realm Cultivation base, she almost wanted to applaud for him. When she saw the Fat Life Immortal explode, Ouyang Nuan almost fainted. She thought that Ning Fan would die under the self-detonation of a Life Immortal Realm expert. If Ning Fan dies because of her, she would never be able to forgive herself for the rest of her life. At that moment, she regretted asking for Ning Fan's help and getting him involved in this matter. Fortunately, she sensed that Ning Fan had escaped into a medium Kiliacosm treasure and avoided the self-detonation of a Life Immortal Realm expert. That made her feel slightly relieved. At the same time, she was surprised that Ning Fan actually had a medium Kiliacosm treasure. Now that she was released from the Yuan Yao world by Ning Fan, Ouyang Nuan looked at Ning Fan's back that was covered in blood. Her heart was filled with guilt and gratitude. She did not ask why Ning Fan had a medium Kiliacosm treasure. She was not prepared to ask or tell anyone about Ning Fan's secret. She wanted to keep this secret for Ning Fan. Is there any way to help Senior Wei Qi recover his combat power? Ning Fan's voice was very soft and weak. Yes. 7th uncle was hit by the pill sex dark word technique and immortal bestowment pill. I can neutralize both of them instantly. In just the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, 7th uncle can recover 30% of his combat power. That's enough to deal with another Life Immortal Realm expert. While answering Ning Fan's question, Ouyang Nuan took out 2 pills and fed them to Wei Qi. Wei Qi, on the other hand, stared at Ning Fan's back deeply and said with clenched teeth, 10 breaths. Little friend, buy me 10 breaths of time. Even if I have to harm myself, I will still forcefully recover 10% of my magic power within 10 breaths and eliminate that vile spawn of the pill sect. There was still a Life Immortal Realm expert in this place. It was impossible for Wei Qi to have the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn to recover his strength. 10 breaths, is it? Ning Fan did not say much. With a flash, he appeared outside the stone chamber and stared coldly at the tall Life Immortal Realm expert who was approaching him. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert had already seen Ning Fan release Ouyang Nuan and treat Wei Qi's injuries. He would not give Wei Qi the chance to recover his magic power. After all, Wei Qi was at the mid-human profound realm, which was higher than him. Moreover, he had a Dao weapon and his combat power was extremely high. Even if he could only recover 10% of his magic power, it would still be enough to kill him. He had to kill Wei Qi before he could recover his magic power. Since Ouyang Nuan had already shown herself, Wei Qi would be useless to her. Junior, do you think you can withstand a single blow from me with your current state? Quick. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert looked at Ning Fan disdainfully. He raised his hand and shot out a ray of treasure light, aiming at Ning Fan's neck. It was a silver ring magic treasure with a hook on it. Once it is used, it could easily cut off the head of a first-step cultivator. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert found it hard to believe that Ning Fan could survive the self-destruction of a Life Immortal Realm expert. The number of techniques this 7-breaking realm junior had made him feel ashamed of his inferiority. Even so, the tall Life Immortal Realm expert did not think that Ning Fan could survive the attack of the Silver Ring Immortal Treasure. After all, it was difficult for Ning Fan to even stand at the moment. He might not even be able to defeat a cultivator at the 6th or 5th breaking realm. Ning Fan held the black gold Dao sword tightly and sighed softly. Now that he was in a desperate situation, he really had no choice but to use that technique. The consequences of this technique were too great. However, it seemed like he had no other choice now. Ning Fan was hesitating. All of a sudden, he saw the silver ring in front of him split into 3. One of the rings went straight for him, which he could not avoid. The other 2 rings went around him and attacked Wei Qi and Ouyang Nuan, who were behind him. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert decided to be more cautious. Even though he firmly believed that he had the strength to kill Ning Fan instantly, he still wanted to be absolutely safe. If Ning Fan really had a technique that could forcefully hold on for 10 breaths, it would not be fun anymore. It would be better to kill Ouyang Nuan and Wei Qi first and then slowly torture Ning Fan to death. He must not give Wei Qi the chance to recover his magic power. Ah! The shadow of the ring slashed at Ouyang Nuan. She cried out in pain and felt that her body was about to be cut into 2 by the ring. Ning Fan's expression suddenly changed. Without any hesitation, he muttered 2 words and his body turned into a ray of blood light, disappearing on the spot. Bing disintegration. The devil sense that was sealed in his heart seemed to have found a crack. Traces of it flowed out from the seal of the Ming wheel and spread throughout Ning Fan's body. Ning Fan merged with the Dao sword in his hand. His body was surrounded by blood light and he turned into a blood devil. However, a ray of blood light flashed and the 3 ring shadows were all cut into pieces. Wei Qi and Ouyang Nuan did not die. At the next moment, outside the cloud cliff mountain, blood light soared to the sky. A blood devil whose entire body was burning with blood qi appeared in front of the tall Life Immortal Realm cultivator. He raised his head and stared at the tall Life Immortal Realm cultivator with ferocious eyes. With a claw of his hand, an extremely terrifying blood-red sword light gushed out from his palm, as if it was going to cut heaven and earth into pieces. Ning Fan's consciousness gradually blurred. At the moment when he completely lost his mind, he saw the terrified expression of the tall Life Immortal Realm cultivator. He seemed to have heard the heart-wrenching cry of a woman. It sounded a little like Ouyang Nuan's voice. After that, he completely lost his consciousness. He could no longer remember what his blood devil body had done. His body was torn apart by the sword light, stitched up by the star technique and corroded by the devil sense. He fell into a deep sleep as if he was about to fall into an eternal slumber within the devil sense. The world of his mind was filled with blood red. It was being corroded by the devil sense. Ning Fan's mind was wandering. He did not know where he should go. After an unknown period of time, he seemed to have heard a voice calling him. Gradually, the blood-red color in his mind began to fade. Gradually, the devil sense returned to the seal of the Ming wheel. The seal was being repaired bit by bit. Who is it? Who is saving me? Ning Fan really wanted to open his eyes to take a look. However, his eyelids were too heavy and he could not open his eyes. He looked inside his body and found that the devil sense had been sealed back into his heart. It was really a blessing in misfortune. He could vaguely hear the voices of a few children. Ancestor Qian has instructed us to serve this person well and not to neglect him. The voices at the back gradually became indistinct. Gradually, a trace of hypnotic medicinal power flowed through Ning Fan's body. Ning Fan fell into a deep slumber again. He did not know how long he had slept. When he woke up again, he finally opened his eyes. What came into his sight was a simple and crude Dao house. He was lying on the bed. Beside the bed, a little Dao child was holding a large palm leaf fan. He was fanning the wind and driving away the mosquitoes for Ning Fan. As soon as he saw Ning Fan wake up, the little Dao child exclaimed as if he had seen something unbelievable. "He's awake! He's awake!" The person that Ancestor Qian picked up has actually woken up. I have never seen anyone who could survive after suffering such severe injuries. Ancestor Qian's pill healing technique is really amazing. After the little Taoist boy shouted, many little Taoist boys immediately rushed into the Taoist house to watch the show. These little Tao children were all vein-opening realm cultivators. None of them were at the harmonious spirit realm. Ning Fan's throat was burning and his head was buzzing. After the commotion, he felt his headache getting worse. Thus, he asked with a slight frown, "Where am I? Who saved me? Where is the person who came with me?" This is the 100 Medicine sect of the Hidden Sea Planet. The person who saved you is Ancestor Qian of my sect. No one came with you. You were picked up by Ancestor Qian. A little Dao child answered all of Ning Fan's questions respectfully. His cultivation base was low and he could not tell how high Ning Fan's cultivation base was. However, he had seen Ning Fan being severely injured and on the verge of death. He had never seen such terrifying injuries in his life. A person who could survive after suffering such injuries must be a senior expert. Naturally, he did not dare to neglect him. The Hidden Sea Planet. 100 Medicine sect? Ning Fan forced himself to sit up. His eyes were filled with surprise and doubt. Isn't the Hidden Sea Planet a cultivation planet in the ancient star region? Ning Fan had heard about the 100 Medicine sect from Ouyang before. At that time, she even gave him a warm jade hairpin and told him to come to the 100 Medicine sect to seek help from an old man with the surname Qian when he is in trouble. Is that old man with the surname Qian the Ancestor Qian that the little Dao children mentioned? Wasn't he fighting against a life-immortal realm cultivator in the Shaozi star region? Ning Fan remembered that he was forced to use the forbidden technique, weapon disintegration. He could not remember what happened after that. What happened after that? Who sent him to the Hidden Sea Planet? What about Wei Qi? What about Ouyang? As soon as he thought about it, Ning Fan immediately felt a pain as if his sea of consciousness was being torn apart. He could not help but suck in a cold breath. All the things he brought with him were still there. No one had touched them. What a lucky guy. Even after suffering such serious injuries, he could still survive the backlash of the devil sense. He actually managed to wake up after sleeping for 7 years. A wizened old man wearing a linen Taoist robe and a Taoist hat walked into the Taoist house. Upon seeing the wizened old man, all the children knelt on the ground and kowtowed to him. "Greetings, Grandmaster Qian." Ning Fan, on the other hand, was shocked. He had actually been unconscious for 7 years. "You may dispense with the formalities. You may all withdraw. This old man is going to treat this little friend's injuries." The shriveled old man's face darkened. He waved his hand, and the group of little Taoists immediately left respectfully. "Do you want to know why you appeared in the ancient realm? Senior, please tell me." Ning Fan was temporarily unable to get off the bed, so he could only cup his fists and salute the wizened old man. He could not see through this person's exact cultivation level, but he could roughly tell that this person was a perfected immortal. This person's medicine soul power was extremely strong. He was at least an 8th revolution pill refinement master. It seemed like this person was the Qian Ken that Ouyang Nuan mentioned. "Little girl Nuan brought you here." "Ouyang Nuan? Where is she?" Dead. Impossible. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He did not believe that Ouyang Nuan would die. You don't believe me? If you don't believe me, take a look at your medicine soul. Is it 5-colored? The shriveled old man's face darkened. He slammed the door and walked out of the Dao house. Only then did Ning Fan look at his own body. He suddenly realized that his medicine soul had turned into 5 different colors. The form of his medicine soul was no longer a black butterfly. Instead, it was a 5-colored butterfly. Ning Fan vaguely remembered that the color of Ouyang Nuan's medicine soul seemed to be 5-colored. Why did I obtain the same medicine soul ability as Ouyang Nuan? What exactly happened to Ouyang Nuan? Is she really dead like what that old man with the surname Qian said? Impossible. Ning Fan gritted his teeth and forced himself to get off the bed. However, he fell to the ground instead. He did not believe that Ouyang Nuan would die. However, what was going on with this 5-colored medicine soul? What exactly happened after he lost his mind? Howl! A snow-white little fur ball appeared out of nowhere and threw itself into Ning Fan's arms. It stuck out its small tongue and licked Ning Fan's finger, attracting his attention. Isn't this ugly little thing the spirit choice that I gave to Ouyang Nuan? I remember that its real name is Ning Xiabixiu and its nickname is Hairy Ball. Hairy Ball's cultivation base was already at the harmonious spirit realm. With a light leap, it used its demonic power to write a few words on the ground. Nuan Nuan, trapped, forbidden area, crepe myrtle pond. Ning Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. After thinking for a while, he erased the words on the ground. Ouyang Nuan isn't dead, right? Howl. The little furball nodded. She's trapped in the crepe myrtle pond? Is she in danger? Ning Fan asked again. Howl. Howl. The little furball shook its head. Is that so? Ning Fan shook his head speechlessly. That damned true immortal Qian actually lied to him. Ouyang Nuan isn't dead. She's not in danger for the time being. Fortunately, that's right. Old man Qian seems to have a deep relationship with Ouyang Nuan. How could he let anything happen to her? Ning Fan felt relieved. Then, his vision turned black and he fainted again. Outside the door, old man Qian walked in angrily. He looked at the words on the ground, then looked at Hairy Ball and Ning Fan again. His face darkened again. Little fellow, who asked you to speak the truth? Go and find your mother. Rumble. The true immortal Qian kicked Hairy Ball. The force of his kick was very mysterious. It did not hurt Hairy Ball at all but sent it flying. It flew around the hidden sea star for more than 10 rounds before landing precisely in a purple pond in the forbidden area of the back mountain of the 100 Medicines sect. The force of this true immortal Qian's kick was really horrifying. As for his turbid eyes, after kicking Furball away, a look of regret gradually appeared in them. That silly girl is really a silly girl. How could she give her origin medicine soul to someone else so casually? Now, how am I going to extend your life? How are you going to face others in this life? How are you going to face others? The number 1 beauty of the 100 Medicines sect, Ouyang Nuan. To hell with the number 1 beauty title. From now on, it's just an ironic title. Old man Qian kicked Ning Fan onto the bed and fed him a pill which was filled with spiritual qi. After letting out a long sigh, he turned around and walked out of the Dao house. Then, he instructed the little Daoists who were waiting outside. I'm going to leave the 100 Medicines sect for a few years. Take good care of that brat. Don't neglect him. What? Old man Qian is leaving. Where is old man Qian going? All of a sudden, all the little Daoists panicked. I'm not in a good mood. I'm going to leave this planet for a few years to kill a few evil creatures. I don't have time to stay here and play. No. This is the ancient star field, a place where bandits run rampant. Without old man Qian, our 100 Medicines sect will certainly be annihilated by a large wave of bandits. The little Daoists cried. What are you afraid of? Isn't there someone lying in this Dao house? If the 100 Medicines sect is in trouble, ask him to help. Tell him that if he can't protect the 100 Medicines sect and the purple myrtle pond, no one can save Ouyang Nuan. Old man Qian cursed the little Daoists who were kneeling on the ground in frustration. Then he turned into a ray of light and left the hidden sea star. Very soon, the news that Old Man Qian was going to leave the 100 Medicines sect for a few years spread across the entire sect. It even spread across the entire hidden sea star at an astonishing speed. Most of the 100 Medicines sect's outer sect disciples were at the vein-opening realm, while the inner sect disciples were at the harmonious spirit realm. Only those with a gold core cultivation could become the outer sect elders. The inner sect elders were all nascent soul cultivators. The sect master of 100 Medicinal sect was a spirit-severing old man. His other identity was a 5th revolution pill master. With such a cultivation base and identity, it was impossible for them to protect the 100 Medicine sect in the secluded sea star where bandits ran amok. The cultivation base that Old Man Qian revealed in the 100 Medicinal sect was at the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. His pill refinement mastery was at the low-grade 7th revolution. Other than Ning Fan, no one in the 100 Medicines sect knew about Old Man Qian's true immortal realm cultivation base and 8th revolution pill refinement technique. With Old Man Qian's departure, the entire 100 Medicines sect was thrown into chaos. In fact, this was not the first time that Old Ancestor Qian had left the 100 Medicines sect. It was common for him to leave for decades at a time. However, the ancient star field had been in chaos recently. The capital of the hidden sea star had just been attacked by a group of bandits with green scarves on their heads, and the Star Master had been killed. Green Scarf Bandits. He was one of the 72 bandit cultivators in the ancient star sector. The leader of the Green Scarf Bandits was a loose immortal old monster. After he killed the Star Master of the hidden sea star, he had been purging the old void fragmentation forces of the hidden sea star. It was said that the 100 Medicine sect was also being purged. The sect master originally thought that with Old Ancestor Qian's 7th revolution pill refinement mastery, he might have a way to invite a few loose immortal experts to help the 100 Medicine sect and the entire hidden sea star overcome the crisis. Now, a great disaster was about to befall them, but Old Ancestor Qian just had to choose this time to leave. If the Green Scarf Bandits were to slaughter their way to the entrance, who would be able to save the 100 Medicine sect? Do I really have to seek help from the young man that Old Ancestor Qian saved? Isn't that young man severely injured? Hasn't he been unconscious for a few years? He can't even protect himself, so how can he protect the 100 Medicine sect? What cultivation base does that young man have? Could he be a senior at the 1st heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? So what if he really has the cultivation base of the 1st heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? Our opponents are the Green Scarf Bandits. In front of the great army of the Green Scarf Bandits, killing one cultivator is nothing. Outside the Dao house where Ning Fan was unconscious, the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect and a few nascent soul realm elders were sighing and pacing back and forth. The sect master of the 100 Medicine sect had already sealed off the news, not allowing anyone to leak the news of Old Ancestor Qian leaving the planet. On the hidden sea star, many forces were slaughtered and absorbed by the new Star Lord every day. One after another, cultivation countries were engulfed by the flames of war. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. Gradually, the flames of war reached the nearby cultivation countries. Finally, on the 4th month, it reached the ancient medicine country where the 100 Medicine sect was located. When the army of bandits with green scarves on their heads invaded the ancient medicine country like locusts, countless cultivators of the ancient medicine country ran to the entrance of the 100 Medicine sect and begged Old Ancestor Qian to help. In the ancient medicine country, Old Ancestor Qian was the only void fragmentation realm cultivator. With his 5th revolution fragmentation realm cultivation base, he might not be a match for the Green Scarf Bandits. However, all the cultivators of the hidden sea star knew that Old Ancestor Qian was a low-grade 7th revolution pill refinement master. His pill refinement mastery was something that even the leader of the Green Scarf Bandits would not dare to underestimate. Old Ancestor Qian, please save the cultivators of our ancient medicine country. The Green Scarf Bandits are here. Can Old Ancestor Qian bear to see our ancient medicine country being annihilated by thousands of bandits? Old Ancestor, Please kill the bandits and save the ancient medicine country from danger. Countless voices of begging faintly entered Ning Fan's ears. After another 4 months of unconsciousness, Ning Fan woke up in a daze. The serious injuries in his body had completely healed. During the past 4 months, even though he was unconscious, he could faintly feel that there was a pill with a huge amount of energy inside his body. Its medicinal power was healing the serious injuries caused by the backlash of the devil sense. I'm afraid that the lowest grade of that pill is at least 9th revolution. Is it the pill that old ancestor Qian gave me? Why is it so noisy outside? Ning Fan pushed the door and walked out of the Dao house. What he saw was the cultivators of the 100 Medicine sect kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy. Outside the 100 Medicine sect, there were also countless cultivators of the ancient medicine country kneeling on the ground. In the sky, there were tens of thousands of experts who were wearing green scarves. They were flying across the sky with terrifying killing intent. Tell me the current situation in 1 sentence. Ning Fan ordered a spirit-severing realm old man beside him. He was the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect. Old ancestor Qian has left the planet. He instructed us to ask Senior to help if the ancient medicine sect is in trouble. If the ancient medicine sect is annihilated and we lose the purple myrtle pond, Ouyang Nuan will definitely die. Got it? Ning Fan looked at the sky full of bandits with green scarves wrapped around their heads. His eyes flashed with cold light. He spread his spirit sense and found the location of the purple myrtle pond. He could sense Ouyang Nuan's qi there. A group of bandits was boldly attacking the purple myrtle pond. They are courting death. Chapter 710. When the 7 ships carrying tens of thousands of green scarf bandits appeared above the 100 Medicine sect, all the cultivators from the ancient medicine kingdom revealed expressions of despair. As the cyan scarf bandits on one of the star boats flew towards the Myrtle Lake, despair appeared on the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect's face. On the main mountain of the 100 Medicine sect, there was a protective formation. It was a high-grade immortal void realm formation, and the source of its power was hidden under the crepe myrtle pond in the forbidden area of the back mountain. The other party attacked the crepe myrtle pond as soon as they arrived. It was obvious that they were accompanied by experts who were proficient in formations and had seen through the formation of 100 Medicine sect. It's over. Old ancestor Qian isn't here and the grand formation source has been seen through. Our 100 Medicine sect is going to be annihilated soon. The sect master of the 100 Medicinal Herbs sect let out a long sigh. Suddenly, his eyes widened and he saw Ning Fan's figure flashing and dashing towards the purple myrtle pond. His eyes were like an eternally unmelting ice. His traveling light seemed to be much faster than old ancestor Qian, who was at the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Could it be that this senior's cultivation base is above the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? Our 100 Medicine sect is saved. The cultivators of the 100 Medicine sect were crying tears of joy. The cultivators from the ancient medicine kingdom didn't know that the old man had disappeared, but after seeing someone attack the green scarf bandits, and it was an extremely strong one at that, they naturally shed tears of joy. Is there still hope for the ancient medicine kingdom? In the blink of an eye, Ning Fan was already standing in midair above the purple myrtle pond. He scanned the area below with his spirit sense and saw that Ouyang Nuan was inside a thatched cottage at the edge of the pond. As soon as he saw Ouyang Nuan's condition, Ning Fan's eyes darkened. Ouyang Nuan was indeed not dead, but how did she become like this? According to his plan, there shouldn't have been any mistakes, so why was he in a coma for 7 years? Why did Ouyang Nuan end up like this? Puzzled, still puzzled. Ning Fan's heart was filled with bewilderment. Everything went according to plan during the battle that day. The steel of sun and moon and the sword ancestors' sword chi forcefully killed one of the life immortals. Then, he took the opportunity to force the second life immortal away and save Wei Qi. As long as he could hold on for 10 breaths, Wei Qi would be able to slightly recover his magical power and fight against a high-level life immortal, right? At that time, Ning Fan's magic power was already depleted. He was unable to escape with Ouyang Nuan and Wei Qi using the Black Devil escaping art. He did not take them into the Yuan Yao realm because ordinary small Kiliacosm cosmos treasures could not defend against the attacks of life immortals. In the beginning, he had hidden Ouyang Nuan in the Yuan Yao world. That was why the two life immortals did not know that he possessed a small Kiliacosm cosmos treasure. After releasing Ouyang Nuan, they already knew that even if they kept Ouyang Nuan away, the small Kiliacosm would still be easily destroyed by a life immortal. At that time, he had already entered the profound Yin world once. Naturally, he would not be able to enter again within the next 3 days. It would take a lot of time to set up a corner of the formation pattern. Moreover, the formation pattern involved too many things. At that time, he was still in Shaozi starfield. If he had set up the formation pattern and used the formation position to kill the life immortal guarding Wei Qi, it would be extremely easy. However, the horrifying fluctuation of the formation pattern would definitely attract countless life immortals to spy on it. Therefore, Ning Fan did not plan to use the formation marks from the very beginning. It was naturally impossible to have the time to set up the formation patterns when the battle was at its climax. Therefore, the only way to stop a life immortal for 10 breaths was to use the army disintegration technique. The weapon dissolution would trigger the devouring of the devil sense. However, if it was just 10 breaths of time, Ning Fan believed that Ouyang Nuan would have a way to help him suppress the devil sense. When he undid it, he only tore a small crack on the seal of the underworld wheel and drew out a strand of demonic thoughts. Under that level of devil sense, it would not be a big deal even if he temporarily lost his sanity. After all, even when Ning Fan was completely immersed in the devil sense, he could still slightly control the devil sense and fight against the old ancestor of ancient Zhong. As long as the weapon dissolution was eroded by a small amount of devil sense for 10 breaths, he would be able to stop a life immortal. Ning Fan did not expect himself to kill a life immortal. Even if the weapon dissolution technique was fully activated, it would only be comparable to a life immortal. Now that he had drawn out a small amount of devil sense, he was not a match for a life immortal at all. He just wanted to buy himself 10 breaths of time. As long as he could buy himself 10 breaths of time, Wei Qi would be able to recover 10% of his magic power. At that time, Wei Qi could easily kill a life immortal, and he could also easily knock out Ning Fan, who had lost his sanity. With Ouyang Nuan's wealth, it should not be difficult for her to help him seal a small amount of devil sense. He would probably wake up after being unconscious for 3 to 5 days. Ning Fan would never fall unconscious in front of outsiders. However, he trusted Ouyang Nuan. That was why he dared to use the weapon dissolution technique recklessly. Everything was going according to plan. The worst-case scenario was that the devil sense would completely erupt and he would return to his original state. How was it possible for him to fall unconscious for 7 years? The amount of body-devouring devil sense he had was limited. It was impossible for him to suffer such a heavy injury. Something unexpected must have happened during his weapon dissolution technique that caused Ouyang Nuan to suffer such an unforeseen event, causing her to fall unconscious for 7 years. Did I miss something on that day? Speaking of which, since Ouyang Nuan is here, where is Wei Qi? Ning Fan looked inside his body and found that the crack on the seal of his Ming wheel was terrifyingly huge. Someone deliberately tore the crack. Who was it? The crack was closed by a 5-colored force. Was that force Ouyang Nuan's power? I don't understand. What did I miss that day? Why was the crack torn by someone? Who did it? Why did Ouyang Nuan send me to the ancient star region? Where is Wei Qi? Wasn't he saved by me? Why didn't he protect Ouyang Nuan along the way? Are you the helper that Qian Kaiyan of the 100 Medicines sect hired? According to the information that I have gathered, there is no 7th heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator in the 100 Medicines sect. Are you trying to avenge the 100 Medicines sect? Where is that old man Chen Kain? Ask him to come out and talk to our big brother. He is a 7th revolution pill master. He is qualified, but you are not. All of the green scarf bandits leaped down from the ship and stood in midair, surrounding Ning Fan. The person who spoke just now was a burly man at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. His head was wrapped in a green scarf and he had leopard-like eyes and a beard. He was the second leader of the Green Scarf Bandits. In his eyes, Ning Fan was just a 7th Break Realm cultivator who was not his match. It was not like he had never killed a 7th Break Realm cultivator before. He had killed countless of them during the Green Scarf Bandits' journey in the Star region. It was absolutely impossible for Ning Fan to protect the 100 Medicine Sect alone. The reason why he did not immediately give the order to attack Ning Fan was because he wanted to meet the low-grade 7th Revolution Pill Master of the 100 Medicine Sect, Qian Kaiyan. The Green Scarf Bandits had everything. The only thing they lacked was a 7th Revolution Pill Master and above. As soon as the leader of the Green Scarf Bandits entered the Hidden Sea Star, he had already heard of Qian Kaiyan's name. Qian Kaiyan's pill refinement technique was brilliant. His pill healing technique was even more brilliant. Many pill refinement masters were proficient in pill refinement techniques and could concoct high-grade pills. However, they were not good at healing and prolonging the life of others. The so-called pill healing technique was to know countless secret techniques of the Tao of pills. Even if they did not have any pills in their hands, they could still use the power of their medicine soul to save others' lives. After the Green Scarf Bandits entered the ancient medicine kingdom, they did not kill wantonly like before. They were giving Qian Kaiyan face. They wanted to subdue Qian Kaiyan and make him their ship's doctor. The reason why they pretended to attack the Purple Myrtle Pond was also to scare Qian Kaiyan and force him to show himself. However, they did not expect that the one who was forced to show himself was not Qian Kaiyan but Ning Fan. The second leader did not put Ning Fan in his eyes. However, he still gave Ning Fan some face by not attacking him immediately. He was still waiting for Qian Kaiyan to show himself. This pill doctor was very powerful. Their boss had told them to get him. The Qian Kaiyan that you guys are looking for is not in the 100 Medicine Sect. In the sect, I am the only Void Fragmentation Realm expert who can fight you. Get out of the Ancient Medicine Kingdom within 3 breaths and I can spare your lives. Ning Fan said with an expressionless face. As soon as he said that, all the Green Scarf Bandits on the 7 ships fell into a dead silence. Then, they burst into deafening laughter. This man is really arrogant. Does he think that he can fight against the 70,000-strong army of our Green Scarf Bandits alone? So what if he's at the 7th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm? I wonder how many rogue immortals have died in the hands of our Green Scarf Bandits. This man is extremely arrogant. There's no need to hold back. Just kill him. After we kill this man and slaughter the entire Ancient Medicine Kingdom, I don't believe that Qian Kaiyan won't show himself. When the time comes, we will capture him, plant a mental seal on him and force him to be our ship's doctor. Since he doesn't want to accept a toast, let's punish him. Amidst the laughter from all directions, countless Green Scarf Bandits rushed down the ship like wolves and tigers towards Ning Fan. All of these Green Scarf Bandits were experts above the Void Refinement Realm. It was no wonder that they could travel in the universe. 70,000 Void Refinement Realm experts, 200 Void Fragmentation Realm experts, and 7 leaders. It was said that the 2nd to the 7th leaders were at the 8th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. Only the 1st leader was a rogue immortal. Facing this group of Green Scarf Bandits that were as ferocious as wolves and tigers, even a rogue immortal could only hope to escape. Star's sacrifice arrow. Understood. Behind the countless Green Scarf Bandits, a rogue immortal with a face full of scars gave an order. Then, all 70,000 Green Scarf Bandits, regardless of their strength, drew a green bow and shot spiritual arrows at Ning Fan. 70,000 Void Refinement Realm arrow lights and 200 Void Fragmentation Realm arrow lights were enough to kill even a rogue immortal. The light of the arrow lights lit up the dark starry sky. Each of the cultivators of the Ancient Medicine Kingdom was shocked. Are these the well-trained bandits of the Ancient Era? They were one of the 72 bandit groups in the Ancient Era Star region. Even though they did not have a life immortal guarding them, even an early mortal profound realm life immortal would not dare to attack them. The Green Scarf Bandits. Fortunately, old ancestor Qian has left. Even if he is here, what can he do? I didn't expect these green scarf bandits to be so strong. Other than life immortal realm experts, who else can fight against them? What a pity. Our ancient medicine kingdom is really going to perish. There's one more thing that we regret. We still don't know this senior's name. He risked his life for our ancient medicine kingdom, but we don't even know his name. Each of the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom sighed. None of them thought that Ning Fan could protect himself from the arrows that filled the sky. Even if Ning Fan's cultivation base was at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, it was impossible for him to survive. Even if he was a rogue immortal, it was impossible for him to survive. Countless old monsters closed their eyes, bowing their heads and waiting for their deaths. Some beautiful female cultivators' faces were drained of blood, and they let out a sorrowful smile. If the ancient medicine kingdom falls, they would probably become the cauldrons of others. What? How is this possible? All of a sudden, an exclamation of disbelief came from one of the children's mouth. At the next moment, all the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom were shocked. The 70,000 green scarf bandits were staring at Ning Fan in disbelief. Ning Fan did not dodge or evade the 70,000 arrows that were aimed at him. He allowed the arrows to hit his body, but he was not harmed at all. Instead, the sound of metal colliding could be heard. The attacks from those who were below the rogue immortal realm could not even break the defense of Ning Fan's physical body. Ning Fan's physical body could directly defend against all attacks below the rogue immortal realm. He had the physical body of a third transformation corpse devil. After completing the third transformation of the demonic corpse, he obtained two great benefits. Firstly, his lifespan was limitless. Secondly, his physical defense was comparable to a 9th sky of Nirvana realm physique cultivator. He could ignore all attacks under the level of an individual immortal. There were 70,000 green scarf bandits and 200 void fragmentation realm experts. None of the 6 leaders could hurt Ning Fan. The only one who could slightly break through Ning Fan's physical defense was the bandit leader. Die! Sword light flashed in Ning Fan's eyes. His black sword sense spread wildly in the vast sky, mincing each of the void refinement realm cultivators into minced meat. In the blink of an eye, all 70,000 void refinement realm bandits were killed. There were only 200 plus void fragmentation realm bandits left. What a powerful sword sense! It can even kill void refinement realm experts in an instant. Each of the void fragmentation realm experts sucked in a cold breath. They could not help but take half a step back. The 200 plus void fragmentation realm experts actually felt suffocated when facing Ning Fan alone. The sense of pressure that Ning Fan gave them was just too strong. It was comparable to that of a life immortal realm expert. They had been killing for a long time. Thus, they instinctively began to fear Ning Fan. All of you stand down. Leave this person to me. The bandit leader's expression was extremely solemn. He walked out of the crowd and walked towards Ning Fan step by step. Every time he took a step forward, his aura force would increase a little. Every time he took a step forward, the blood-red light of the ring-shaped machete in his hand would become a little denser. He was accumulating his blade force. He was going to kill Ning Fan with a shadowless slash when his blade force was at its strongest. Ning Fan looked at the bandit leader expressionlessly from the beginning to the end. Finally, the bandit leader's blade force had reached its peak. The general situation of the entire Hidden Sea Star was disrupted by him alone. This ray of blade light was enough to instantly kill an ordinary rogue immortal. The bandit leader was very confident that he could kill Ning Fan with a single slash. Die! With a chi sound, the bandit leader's figure disappeared. A green blade light that connected the heavens and the earth slashed down at Ning Fan's head at a horrifying speed. If this slash hits Ning Fan, he would definitely die. The residual force of the blade light would also leave a huge crack on the surface of the Hidden Sea Star. This slash had nearly exhausted all of the bandit leader's magic power. It was his trump card. This young man must die. He shouldn't have given me the chance to gather my blade force. The bandit leader laughed heartily and ordered arrogantly. The moment this young man dies will be the moment the ancient medicine kingdom is slaughtered. Boom! A loud explosion suddenly resounded, causing the bandit leader's smile to freeze on his face. Ning Fan slowly raised his palm. His palm was covered with black starlight and he directly pressed it on the blade light above his head. The blade light, which was powerful enough to kill an ordinary rogue immortal, was easily held in Ning Fan's hand. That blade light could not break Ning Fan's palm at all. The power of the blade light was rapidly weakening. Ning Fan suddenly took a step forward and clenched his fist. The green blade light immediately shattered into countless light spots and disappeared, shattered. The blade light was shattered. The strongest ability of the leader of the Green Scarf Bandit was easily blocked by Ning Fan with just a lift of his hand. It's impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Who exactly are you? Only an old monster at the life immortal realm can withstand my blade light so calmly. Since you can withstand my blade light so easily, you definitely can't be a nobody. Since when did someone like you appear in the Ancient Star region? The bandit leader's expression changed drastically. Each of the Void Fragmentation Realm bandits looked at Ning Fan in disbelief. There is no need to explain to a bunch of dead people. Ning Fan took a step forward and turned into black robes. His body suddenly shattered into countless black butterflies, Black Tempest's soul-splitting technique. After obtaining the power of the five-colored medicine soul, Ning Fan realized that his control of magic power was unprecedentedly precise. The power of the Black Tempest soul-splitting technique had also greatly improved. The overwhelming number of black butterflies drowned the 200 Void Fragmentation Realm bandits, including the bandit leader. Miserable screams came from the group of butterflies. There was a Void Fragmentation Realm bandit dying every second. 10 breaths later, the vast sky was filled with dead silence. Only the 7-star ships that were floating in the sky were left. There was not a single living person on the ships. Countless blood rain, minced meat, storage pouches, and Dao fruits fell to the ground. Ning Fan, however, did not have the mood to pick them up. There were still many treasures on the 7 ships. They were obtained by the Green Scarf Bandits along the way. Ning Fan was not in the mood to look at them. Where is the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect? Ning Fan turned back into his white robes and asked indifferently. Chapter 711. Where's the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect? Ning Fan turned back into his white robes and asked indifferently. His voice was not loud, but it gave off a bone-piercing chill. After all, he had just slaughtered the entire 70,000 Green Scarf Bandits. This junior is here. May I know what instructions does senior have for me? The sect master took a step forward in fear and bowed with his fists cupped. Refine the flesh and blood essence of the 70,000 Green Scarf Bandits. Sort out all the spoils and pass them to me. I want to enter the Crepe Myrtle Pond. I don't want anyone to disturb me for the time being. Ning Fan was not in the mood to clean up the battlefield himself. He landed on the bank of the pond and walked towards the thatched cottage step by step. Ning Fan stopped outside the cottage but did not push the door open. He could feel that his arrival had caused the woman inside to feel rather uneasy. Can I come in? No. Ouyang Nuan bit her lips and said, Does that so? What exactly happened that day? Did something happen that I missed? Why did you become like this? Ning Fan sighed softly and pushed the door open. Inside the cottage, a girl in green robes was sitting with her back facing the door. When she felt Ning Fan's arrival, her shoulders trembled slightly. A few strands of her black hair that was once as black as ink had turned white. Her skin that used to be as smooth as silk was now wrinkled in many places. She did not dare to turn her head to look at Ning Fan. The death chi on her body was very heavy. It was a sign that her lifespan was coming to an end. Currently, Ouyang Nuan's lifespan was coming to an end. She looked like an old woman with one foot in the grave. Don't look. Ouyang Nuan begged helplessly. Ning Fan did not say much. He just quietly walked behind Ouyang Nuan and placed his palm on her shoulder. There was no softness as he expected. There was only a skinny feeling. Old as an old woman. Wei Qi isn't here. Ning Fan muttered to himself. Ouyang Nuan remained silent. Her eyes were filled with unerasable pain. He betrayed us, didn't he? No, he didn't. He was controlled by the centrifugal pill of the pill sect. He didn't do it on purpose. Ouyang Nuan calmed herself down and explained to Ning Fan seriously. As soon as she turned around, she immediately realized that her current hideous appearance was completely exposed to Ning Fan. She hurriedly covered her face with both of her hands. 10 breaths. I managed to hold on for 10 breaths, but no strong reinforcements came. Instead, I was attacked from both sides. Is that so? Was he the one who tore open the devil sense seal in my body? Tell me what happened that day, Miss Nuan? Ning Fan gently squatted down and looked at Ouyang Nuan's wrinkled face. There was not a single trace of disgust on his face. Instead, there was always a gentle smile on his face. Ouyang Nuan was too ashamed to show her face. She wanted to avoid Ning Fan's gaze and get up to escape, but Ning Fan grabbed her arm and gently pressed her back onto the chair. Sit properly, hold this ugly thing, and tell me what happened that day. Ning Fan ordered in a domineering manner. With a wave of his hand, a fur ball appeared in his hand and he threw it into Ouyang Nuan's bosom. Ouyang Nuan rolled her eyes at Ning Fan and said discontentedly, "It's not ugly. It's your daughter, Ning Xiaoqiu. Why do I hear this little fellow calling you Nuan's mother? I'm the father and you're the mother? Is this what you want to express?" Ning Fan teased. "No, it's not. It's just calling me randomly. I have never taught it to call me that." Ouyang Nuan patted Furball's small buttocks angrily. "She really did not teach it to call me that way. It was Furball who figured it out on its own. The true blood spirit selection was so smart. If the man was the father, wouldn't the woman be the mother?" Furball let out a low howl, expressing that it felt wronged for being beaten. After being messed up by Ning Fan and this little fellow, Ouyang Nuan could not help but be in a good mood. For a moment, she actually forgot about her appearance. "What exactly happened that day? Your lifespan is short. What's going on? Is there anything I can help you with?" "You can't help me." "Don't worry. Don't blame yourself. I originally only have 2,000 years of lifespan left. Because I saved you, I have 20 years left. Actually, to me, whether it's 2,000 years or 20 years, it really doesn't make a difference. In the end, I can't escape death, can I?" Ouyang Nuan looked at Ning Fan quietly with a hint of a smile in her eyes. It was very warm, just like the rising sun. "Have you heard of the innate medicinal body? Those who are born with the innate medicinal body will be born with a medicine soul. They are natural fifth revolution pill masters. This is not luck, but a curse. No one with the innate medicinal body can live more than 10,000 years. 10,000 years is the limit of the lifespan of those who are born with the innate medicinal body. Those who are born with the innate medicinal body will never be able to become an immortal in this life and will never have the possibility of immortality. Master knew that I wouldn't live for long. So even though he was a little stingy, he still gave me a lot of money, hoping that I would live a happy life in my remaining years. Master has given me a lot of protective treasures, but I have never worn them. Do you know why? Because I want to die. I want to die in the hands of unfamiliar devils and bandits. That way, Master won't have to go to the true immortal forbidden lands again and again in order to find the item that can save me. There were a few times when Master almost died in those true immortal forbidden lands. Do you know how much I blame myself? He gave me the 9 revolution death-chasing pill and planted an order in me. He forbade me to commit suicide and forbade anyone to kill me. He must save me. I am very grateful, but more than that, I blame myself. For some people, the longer they live, the more burdens they will bring to their loved ones. I really don't want to live anymore. Unfortunately, I met you. You let me know that it's really interesting to live. However, I have harmed you in the end. If it wasn't because I begged you to help me save someone, you wouldn't have been ambushed by Seventh Uncle. The devil sense wouldn't have invaded your body and you wouldn't have nearly lost your life. My life is the same as harming others and myself. It was me who separated the origin of the medicine soul in my body to help you seal the gap of the devil sense. It's because I was the one who caused that gap. I have lived a very, very tiring life for the past 8,000 years. I have lived enough of it. I want to spend the remaining 20 years in peace. I don't want to harm anyone. I don't want to blame myself and feel guilty anymore. I don't want to owe anyone anything. Ouyang was supposed to tell him the truth of that day, but she could not help but tell him the things that had been bothering her for many years. She was the disciple of the sect master of the medicine sect. It would be easy for her to become an immortal. However, she couldn't achieve immortality. She was the owner of the legendary five-colored medicine soul. She was a rare pill refinement genius that was hard to find even in 100 generations. However, she had no chance to reach the pinnacle of the Tao of pill. Do you still remember that promissory note? That's not a promissory note. It's a bet. When I was still very young, your master and my master met each other in a gambling house on a certain cultivation planet. Both of them made a bet with 1 billion Tao crystals. Your master said that he would certainly accept a disciple in the future who could cure me. I didn't want you to be troubled because of my body. That's why I wanted to take back the promissory note. However, you misunderstood something and tore it apart. At that time, I was thinking that your master must not have told you the true meaning of the promissory note. However, you still tore it apart because you were worried that I would be troubled. I'm really very touched. No one can save me. I don't need anyone to save me either. I'm just very, very tired. Ouyang fell asleep due to exhaustion. Her body tilted slightly to one side and she fell into Ning Fan's arms. Faint breathing sounds could be heard. She still did not tell Ning Fan the truth of that day. However, Ning Fan had already understood the reason why she was in a coma for 7 years from her words. The reason was Wei Qi's betrayal. When Wei Qi was captured, Ning Fan initially guessed that a traitor of the medicine sect had lured him out of the Shaozi Star. He had never thought that Wei Qi was actually controlled by the centrifugal pill of the pill sect, and he left the Shaozi Star on his own. The medicinal effect of the centrifugal pill was to control a person without anyone knowing. The medicinal effect of the centrifugal pill would last for a lifetime. Perhaps even Wei Qi himself did not know that he had been drugged by someone. When Ning Fan used the weapon disintegration style to block 10 breaths of the life immortal realm cultivator, what awaited him was Wei Qi's attack on his abdomen and back. I really missed it. Even if I activate the formation marks at the beginning and kill the 2 life immortals of the pill sect, I would most likely be sneak attacked by Wei Qi. I've missed Wei Qi. The person I wanted to save turned out to be the most dangerous enemy. However, how did Ning Fan survive the joint attack of Wei Qi and the life immortal realm cultivator? How did Ouyang bring him to the ancient star region? Why did she bring him to the hidden sea star? There were still some questions that he did not have answers to. However, Ning Fan did not want to wake Ouyang up and ask her about it. He carried Ouyang to the bed and gently placed her down. Then, he sat on the edge of the bed and quietly looked at Ouyang sleeping face. His brows were slightly knitted. Is there really no way to prolong her life? Harry Ball snuggled comfortably in Ouyang bed with a carefree look. It had no idea that its mother was about to die. A ray of traveling light landed lightly outside the purple myrtle pond. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He walked out of the cottage and saw that Old Man Qian had already returned. Didn't Senior leave the planet? Ning Fan cupped his fists and greeted him. I went on a long journey and wanted to kill a few people. However, I was worried about your character. So, I thought I should come back and have a look. Did Wan meet you? Old Man Qian's tone was a little strange. Humph. Once that girl lost her appearance, she didn't even want to meet me. How could she meet you? Sure enough, a grown girl can't be kept at home. Old Man Qian's tone was sour. When he thought of Ouyang current miserable state, he became speechless. Senior, do you know how to prolong the life of an innate medicinal body? Ning Fan suddenly asked. Oh, you want to save Wan? Do you think you can get that thing with your insignificant cultivation base? Old Man Qian harumphed coldly with disdain. That thing? What thing? Could it be that there's really a way to prolong Ouyang life? Ning Fan's eyes flashed. There is. In ancient times, there was an immortal emperor called Great Emperor Changsheng. He created 3 pieces of longevity jade in his life. Any living being that refines this jade into their body can achieve immortality. Remember, it's any living being. Be it a mortal or a plant, as long as they can get their hands on this longevity jade, their innate medicinal body can also prolong their life. Among the 3 pieces of longevity jade, one was destroyed in the ancient war, one was lost in a true immortal's forbidden land, and its whereabouts are unknown, while the last one is in the hands of Shadi of the Slaughter Palace. Which one do you think you can find? Nuan's master has been to countless ancient forbidden lands for 4 days, but he couldn't find the missing piece of longevity jade. Do you think you can find it? You can't even enter the outer area of those forbidden lands, right? Any life immortal realm or true immortal realm ferocious beast can swallow you in a single bite. Old Man Qian looked at Ning Fan with disdain and snorted coldly. Ever since Ouyang Nuan carried the half-dead Ning Fan and knelt in front of him to beg him to save her, he found Ning Fan to be an eyesore. Longevity jade? Doesn't Shadi have one? Why don't you go to the Slaughter Palace and ask for it? With the medicine sect's resources, it's not like you can't get something good to exchange for a piece of longevity jade, right? Ning Fan asked doubtfully. Ask for something from Shadi? Cough cough. Little friend, you are really courageous. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. If little friend dares to go to the Slaughter Palace and ask for something from Shadi, no. The medicine sect will agree to it without hesitation, no matter what condition Shadi offers to exchange for the jade. Old Man Qian looked at Ning Fan as if he was looking at an idiot. Ning Fan was like a fledgling who had just entered the starry sky and did not know how terrifying Shadi was. Asking for something from Shadi? Does this brat think that the sect master of the medicine sect has never been there before? On that day, when the sect master of the medicine sect said that he wanted to meet Shadi and ask for his longevity jade, he was almost surrounded and attacked by the experts of the Slaughter Palace. Tens of millions of years ago, there was an immortal emperor who fancied a tuft of innate spiritual herb that belonged to Shadi. He wanted to ask for it, but he was directly injured by Shadi's finger and had to leave the Slaughter Palace in a sorry state. Whatever Shadi fancied, he would definitely get it. Whatever he fancied, he would never allow anyone to covet it. Wanting to obtain the longevity jade from Shadi was harder than ascending to the heavens. If Ning Fan goes to ask for Shadi's longevity jade, his ending would definitely be very miserable. No. With his cultivation base, how would he be qualified to enter the bloody slaughter world, let alone meet Shadi? Asking for something from Shadi will result in a miserable ending? Ning Fan looked at Old Man Qian thoughtfully. Of course, you will die a horrible death. Old Man Qian sneered. No one has ever been able to get what they want from Shadi, huh? It's not like no one has ever done it before. If one possesses the cultivation base of the inner sect of the Slaughter Palace and has made a great contribution, he or she can ask for a reward from Shadi. If Shadi is in a good mood, he might give the person what he or she wants. If Shadi is in a bad mood, he or she might just press the person into meat paste with just a finger. If I make a great contribution, I can ask for a reward from Shadi. Ning Fan's eyes sparkled again. If I present the elder token that has been lost for a long time, would it be considered as a great contribution? If I want to present the token, I must first become a disciple of the Slaughter Palace and then find a way to enter the bloody slaughter world, meet Shadi personally and present the token on the spot. If I reveal the fact that I have the elder token before meeting Shadi, I'm afraid that countless experts of the Slaughter Palace will immediately kill me and snatch my elder token. Whether presenting the elder token is considered as a great contribution or not, I still need to verify it. If this is feasible, I also need to think about how to meet Shadi step by step. Ning Fan knitted his brows tightly. Ouyang Nuan's matter had successfully made him pay attention. Wade betrayed him. He was saved because of Ouyang Nuan. Although he had returned a favor, he also owed her another favor for saving his life. In the end, he still has to return the favor. I'm not in a good mood right now. I'm going to kill a few people. You take good care of little girl Nuan. If you do anything to her, I will certainly cut you into 8 pieces. Humph. The old man surnamed Qian's eyes flashed fiercely. He took a step forward and merged with heaven and earth. In the blink of an eye, he traveled a distance of a star field and disappeared. Ground shrinking into an inch. Ning Fan's eyes widened in shock. This old man Qian is really powerful. He actually managed to comprehend the ground shrinking technique. A long time after the elderly man had left, Ning Fan fell into deep thought. He had come to the ancient realm for the celestial soul herb. From today onwards, he would start searching for the whereabouts of the immortal soul herb. At the same time, he had to collect all sorts of information about the slaughter palace. As long as there was the slightest possibility, he would help Yangwan get the longevity jade. He had to return the favor that he owed. Chapter 712. The water of the crepe myrtle pond would emit a faint purple mist. This fog had the ability to slow down aging, which was the reason why Yangwan stayed here. She only had 20 years left to live. The purple mist could not extend her lifespan. At most, it could only slow down her aging. Ning Fan decided to leave the 100 Medicines sect and the Hidden Sea Star to search for the immortal soul grass on the immortal soul star. He still needed to find a slaughter pavilion to hand over the head of the demon man that he had killed 7 years ago and buy information about the slaughter hall from there. Other than accepting and issuing missions, the slaughter pavilion also sold all kinds of information. As long as one could afford it, it was not impossible to find out the whereabouts of an immortal emperor. The best way for Ning Fan to obtain information about the longevity jade was to go to the slaughter pavilion. He had to leave Secluded Sea Star, but he was not willing to leave Yangwan alone on Secluded Sea Star to die. Thus, the entire purple myrtle pond was destroyed by Ning Fan. He condensed the pond water into a piece of purple jade the size of a fingernail, threaded it with a thread, and put it on Yangwan's neck. This way, even if Yangwan left the netherworld star, the purple jade stone would still be able to provide purple mist to slow down Yangwan's aging. With the destruction of the crepe myrtle pond, the 100 Medicine sect's protective array was also destroyed. The cultivators of the sect wanted to cry but had no tears. Yangwan looked at him speechlessly. Ning Fan did not know the cost of the crepe myrtle pond, but she did. That was the spirit pool that her master had spent 10 billion Dao crystals to create. Qian Kaian's identity was very special. The reason he stayed on planet Secluded Sea was because he wanted to use the purple mist here to create an unaging spring pool to protect Yangwan. Otherwise, why would a dignified true immortal like him have to conceal his identity and call himself an ancestor in this small 100 Medicines sect? Senior. If Senior Qian returns and sees that you destroyed the crepe myrtle pond that he spent billions of Dao crystals and countless efforts to build, I'm afraid he will fight you to the death. Yangwan hugged Furball. Her face was covered with a green veil, and her white hair was tied up with a warm jade hairpin. She had given that hairpin to Ning Fan in the past as a keepsake for him to seek help from Qian Kaiyan. Now, however, she no longer needed it. After putting on the purple jade, Yangwan's skin no longer looked as old and withered as before. It had regained some of its vitality. When she heard that Ning Fan wanted to bring her along with him, her dull eyes also lit up with a hint of a smile. This crepe myrtle pond, why is it so expensive? Forget it, the pond is already ruined, it's too late to say anything. Ning Fan shook his head helplessly. After killing the green turban bandits, he had seized more than 300 million Dao crystals and countless spoils of war. Among them, there was also a low-grade immortal formation disc. Using this formation disc, Ning Fan laid down an immortal realm grand formation around the 100 Medicine sect and passed it to the sect master. No matter what, Qian Ken was the nominal old ancestor of the 100 Medicine sect. He had asked Ning Fan to protect the sect, but Ning Fan wanted to leave and even destroy the Purple Myrtle Pond and the Immortal Void Realm sect protection grand formation of the sect. Compensating with an immortal formation to protect the 100 Medicine sect could be considered as a token of his sincerity. If Yangwan was already incurable, Ning Fan might stay in the 100 Medicine sect and protect it for the next 20 years out of his desire to repay her kindness. He would accompany her for the last 20 years of her life. Now that he knew that Yangwan still had a way to survive, How could he let her stay here and wait for her death? The longevity jade was hard to come by, but if one did not try, how would one know that it was impossible? Cough, cough, cough. Furball's dad, where are we going? The immortal soul star. Oh Young-won sat on the ancient golden sword while holding the small furball in her arms. Her complexion looked a little weak and she would cough from time to time. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was riding the ancient sword while holding the star compass of the ancient star region in his hand. Then, he flew towards the immortal soul star planet at full speed. He had set up a formation around the ancient sword to prevent Oh Young-won from getting hurt by the wind of the void. At this moment, Oh Young-won was weaker than ever before. She could not travel in the void with her own strength at all. The immortal soul star? This star used to be the main star of the ancient star region. It was a high-grade cultivation star. The soul race on this star used to be the overlord of the ancient star region. However, due to some unknown reasons, the Slaughter Palace annihilated the soul race in a single night. All the true immortals of the ancient star region also died in that battle. Cough, cough, cough. Today, the immortal soul star has already become the temporary shelter of countless cultivators and bandits. If we go to the immortal soul star, we must be more careful. Oh Young-won knitted her brows and coughed softly again. She tried her best to lower her voice as she was afraid that the sound of her coughing would disgust Ning Fan. She did not mind becoming ugly and sickly. However, she was afraid that Ning Fan would dislike her unsightly appearance. Don't talk too much. Conserve your strength. When we go to the immortal soul star this time, I will try to find out more about the longevity jade. It will certainly help you to prolong your life. Ning Fan smiled and held Oh Young-won's skinny and soft palm. Then he transferred traces of magic power into her body to make her feel better. His gaze towards Oh Young-won did not change at all. It was not because he sympathized with her but because he did not care about her appearance. To him, all the beauties in the world were just like skeletons that passed his eyes. How do you know that the longevity jade can save me? Who told you that? Could it be that stinky old man with the surname Chen? Oh Young-won was flustered. She really had enough of living. She did not want to let the people who cared about her risk their lives to search for the jade just to keep herself alive. In order to let her live for 10,000 years, her master had gone to the true immortal Forbidden Lands time and time again to search for the jade. There were a few times where he almost lost his life. Today, Ning Fan actually wanted to search for the jade for her as well. What did she, Oh Young-won, do to make so many people risk their lives for her? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Why do you have to do this for me? Did I beg you to do this? I just want to die peacefully. I don't want to owe anyone anything at all. You don't understand anything at all. Oh Young-won was a little agitated. How about we make a bet? Ning Fan suddenly smiled. Bet? What kind of bet? Oh Young-won was stunned. Let's bet whether I can extend your life or not. What do you think? To be honest, I really don't have much confidence in finding the longevity jade for you. However, if I don't give it a try, I won't be satisfied. How about this? If I succeed in finding the longevity jade for you and extend your life, you will lose the bet. You have to promise me one thing. If I can't find the longevity jade in the end, I will promise you one thing even if I lose the bet. I will help you fulfill your last wish. Do you want to bet with me? Ning Fan looked at Oh Young-won with a faint smile, waiting for her answer. If you win, what do you want me to promise you? Oh Young-won asked nervously. If I win, you have to spend a night with me. Ning Fan purposely put on an evil expression. Of course, it was just an act. Pervert. Oh Young-won angrily kicked him, but before she could reach Ning Fan, her ankle was caught by Ning Fan's. She originally thought that Ning Fan's would bring up some serious reason, but who would have thought that Ning Fan's head was filled with shit, spending so much effort to save her? Was it really just to spend a night with her? Shameless, perverted, and shameless. How come she didn't realize that Ning Fan was such an unreliable man before? Ning Fan nodded with satisfaction after seeing that Oh Young-won's sadness had lessened a lot. He finally understood the old monster's motive for saying those shameless words in the past. At that time, the old monster said that he saved his beloved wife in order to have sex with her, causing Ning Fan to despise him. But now, it seemed like the old monster was only using his indecency to ease the atmosphere and dispel Ning Fan's worries. Okay, I'll bet. I don't believe that you can find the longevity jade and save me. If you really can, I, Oh Yangwon, will spend a night with you. I just don't believe it. At this moment, Oh Yangwon regained her valiant and heroic spirit. She even dared to accept such a bet. Compared to her previous state of waiting for death, the current Oh Yangwon once again had the ardent desire to live. Even if the hope of survival was very slim, she was no longer pessimistic. At this moment, she wanted to live. Ning Fan nodded his head in satisfaction again. Since it could rekindle Oh Yangwon's hope of survival, the existence of this bet became meaningful. He did not mention what would happen if he loses, and Oh Yangwon also did not ask about it. If Ning Fan loses the bet, Oh Yangwon would die. Neither of them wanted to see this result. The sword light flashed for 10 days. 10 days later, a scarred cultivation planet covered in blood mist appeared in front of them. The Immortal Soul Planet. The Immortal Soul Planet was once a high-grade cultivation planet. However, it was massacred by the Slaughter Palace. The baleful blood mist had yet to disperse, and the spiritual chi on the planet had become extremely thin due to the great battle in the past. This planet was no longer suitable for cultivators to cultivate. However, due to its special location, it became the temporary resting place for many Ancient Realm bandits. The Ancient Realm Star region was a place where bandits ran amok. Killing people and robbing their treasures was almost a common occurrence. During Ning Fan's journey to the Immortal Soul Planet, he was attacked 37 times within 10 days. These bandits were either Void Refinement Realm experts or ordinary Void Fragmentation Realm experts. None of them were a match for Ning Fan. Occasionally, there would be a few rogue Immortal Realm bandits blocking his way. However, they were all killed by Ning Fan with a raise of his hand. There were many bandits in the Ancient Realm, but there were no true immortals among them. The strongest bandits were the 10-life Immortal Realm bandits. Each of the 10-life Immortal Realm bandits led a powerful bandit army. Each of them occupied a mid-grade cultivation planet that had yet to lose its spiritual chi. These 10-life Immortal Realm bandits were called the 10 Heavenly Monarchs of the Ancient Realm. The 10 bandit armies of the 10 Heavenly Monarchs and the other 62 bandit armies, including the Green Scarf Bandits, made up the 72 bandits. The 72 bandits were enemies but not friends. Therefore, even though Ning Fan had annihilated the Green Scarf Bandits, he would not offend anyone. If there are other bandit armies that attack Ning Fan, their motive would definitely not be to avenge the Green Scarf Bandits, but to kill and rob their treasures. Chi, the ancient sword light, pierced through the layer of blood mist of the Immortal Soul Planet and descended towards the only massive cultivation city on the planet. This city was called East Soul City. It used to be the capital of the Immortal Soul Planet and was occupied by the Soul Race. After the Soul Race was annihilated, a slaughter pavilion was built in the city and it took control of the entire city. Other than East Soul City, there were no other cultivation cities on the Immortal Soul Planet. The boundless land that came into view was a blood-red desert. Occasionally, some bandits would enter East Soul City in order to pay for rewards, post rewards, or gather information. Gradually, countless cultivation shops were built in the city. Of course, the owners of the shops were all bandits. Occasionally, there would be cultivators who did not know the background of East Soul Planet. They would buy precious magic treasures and spiritual herbs from some shops and reveal their wealth. However, as soon as they stepped out of the shop, they would be killed and robbed by the bandits in the shops. Due to the reputation of the Slaughter Pavilion, even the 10 great heavenly monarchs of the ancient realm did not dare to carry out a large-scale massacre in East Soul City. Occasionally, there would be casualties in the city. However, they were all small-scale battles which did not affect the overall situation. When they arrived outside the city, Ning Fan kept the ancient golden sword and entered the city side by side with Ouyang Nguyen. There was no one guarding the city gate. The long streets were filled with bandits with strange appearances. 4 burly bandits with black snake tattoos on their left arms were squatting at the side of the long street. They were drinking strong wine while facing the sandstorm that filled the city. The four of them were at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. As soon as they saw Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan approaching them, the four of them sneered coldly. Their eyes turned sinister. Without needing any reason, they directly tried to kill Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan. They have black snake tattoos on their left arms. They are the members of the Black Snake Bandits. The Black Snake Bandits are one of the 72 bandits. They are not a force of the 10 heavenly monarchs. They love to rob and kill cultivators who pass by. My weak body can't be hidden from those with discerning eyes. Besides, the cultivation level you revealed is only at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. They must think that we are weak and easy to bully. That's why they want to kill us and rob our treasures. Ouyang Nuan secretly transmitted her voice to Ning Fan. Do I really look so weak and easy to bully? Ning Fan chuckled. Suddenly his eyes were filled with immense killing intent. He pointed his finger and a ray of black devil flame shot out from his finger and split into four. The devil flame flashed and disappeared. The four burly bandits were immediately engulfed by the black devil flame. In just a moment, the four of them let out a miserable shriek and were burned into 4 piles of ashes by the devil flame. As for their storage pouches, Ning Fan casually took them away. His skillful action made countless bandits who were paying attention to him feel embarrassed. Ning Fan was a professional when it came to killing people and robbing their treasures. Hissed in the dark, countless bandits sucked in a cold breath. Their eyes were either filled with fear or respect as they looked at Ning Fan and his group who were leaving calmly. In the ancient realm where bandits ran rampant, the strong had always been respected. Ning Fan had killed 4 8-break realm cultivators with just a raise of his hand. His strength was comparable to a rogue immortal. No one dared to underestimate him. Isn't he old devil Qian Xiu who rewarded us with 30 million Dao crystals? 30 million Dao crystals is really tempting. Unfortunately, he is just too strong. We can't get his head. A few bandits flipped through the bounty posters in their hands and sighed. They were just low-grade void fragmentation realm cultivators. They were no match for Ning Fan. 30 million Dao crystals? Even if we can't get it, it doesn't mean others can't. One of them shifted his gaze towards a dark corner. There were already many rogue immortal bandits who were tempted by Ning Fan's bounty. This brat has killed the 4 leaders of the Black Snake Bandits. That old devil Black Snake will certainly not let this matter go. At this moment, that old devil Black Snake is handing in the bounty mission in the slaughter pavilion. Judging from the direction that old devil Qian Qiu is heading towards, it seems like he is also going to the slaughter pavilion. There's going to be a good show in the slaughter pavilion. That old devil Black Snake is the most protective one. He would never allow anyone to kill his own bandits. Some bandits who had nothing better to do sneered and followed behind Ning Fan from a distance. They wanted to go to the slaughter pavilion to watch the show. Ning Fan frowned. However, he did not kill the bored bandits behind him. This place was already very close to the slaughter pavilion. It was not advisable to kill near it. Ouyang Nuan walked for a long distance and her face began to turn pale again. It seemed like she wanted to tell Ning Fan something. Just as she was about to open her mouth, she coughed softly and could not speak a word. Ning Fan's eyes turned gentle. He gently held Ouyang Nuan's hand and transferred his magic force to her. Ouyang Nuan's expression gradually eased. She retracted her hand imperceptibly and transmitted her voice to him. In the Eastern Heaven Immortal world, there is a slaughter pavilion on the main planet of every mid-grade star region and above. The pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion on a mid-grade cultivation planet is at least a rogue immortal realm cultivator. Occasionally, there will also be a life immortal realm cultivator guarding the pavilion. The pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion on a high-grade cultivation planet is at least a peak ghost profound realm cultivator. Occasionally, there will also be some true transcending realm true immortals guarding the high-grade slaughter pavilion. This slaughter pavilion is built on the immortal soul planet. Its pavilion master is at least a peak ghost profound realm cultivator. Ning Fan transferred some magic force to Ouyang and said with a faint smile, "Are you trying to tell me not to cause any trouble near the slaughter pavilion and offend this pavilion master?" Ouyang answered softly, "Don't worry. I know my limits. I won't act recklessly in a place like this." Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He entered the slaughter pavilion side by side with Ouyang. As soon as they stepped into the slaughter pavilion, a trace of spirit sense which was filled with immense baleful qi immediately scanned the two of them. Soon after, a soft exclamation of surprise rang out from the slaughter pavilion. The interior of the pavilion was not spacious. Countless bounties were hung on the walls on both sides. There was still a counter in front of them. An old man with a black snake tattoo on his left arm was leading a group of people to submit their tasks. Their expressions were extremely respectful. On the counter, there were 7 human heads. All of them were the heads of the bounty devils. The eyes of the slaughter pavilion master did not look at those human heads, nor did he look at the old man with the black snake. Instead, he briefly glanced at Ouyang. Eventually, his eyes stopped at Ning Fan with an inexplicable feeling. The sound of surprise was made by this person. It was a burly man who was on the verge of breaking through to the true immortal realm. He had a tall and sturdy body. His black hair was like a waterfall and his face was covered with a blood ghost mask. The mask was a spiritual equipment that could conceal the person's appearance and aura. The burly man's eyes stayed on Ning Fan for a long time. Suddenly, his eyes flashed with a hint of a strange smile. It smiled. The moment the old man with the black snake and the others saw the smile on the ghost face pavilion master's face, they broke out in cold sweat. They looked at Ning Fan with sympathy because they knew that once the ghost face pavilion master revealed a smile, it meant that he was going to kill someone. Ning Fan would die. Chapter 713. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He grabbed Ouyang and took half a step back, staring at the ghost face pavilion master with extreme vigilance. The ghost face pavilion master had a shocking cultivation level and was only 1 step away from the crossing reality state. This person was smiling. Why was he smiling? Why did this person make a sound of surprise? Could it be that he had discovered the Elder Token on him? Before he entered the immortal soul planet, he had already placed the Elder Token of the Slaughter Palace in the profound Een world. Logically speaking, even an immortal emperor might not be able to detect the existence of an Elder Token through an emperor artifact. However, there were always exceptions. Ning Fan was not sure whether the immortal realm experts of the Slaughter Palace had a secret technique that allowed them to sense the presence of the Elder's Order. After the incident of Wei Qi's betrayal, Ning Fan became more cautious than before. If the Ghost Face Pavilion Master really discovered his Elder Token and wanted to attack him, he would immediately use the Black Devil escape art to escape from this place and set up a corner of the ancient Chaos Grand Monarch's ultimate killing rune in space to fight with him. The air in the Slaughter Pavilion seemed to freeze in an instant. Ouyang was also a little nervous. She had heard that the Slaughter Pavilion Master was the most temperamental person in this place. He was usually as cold as ice and never smiled. But once he smiled, he would definitely kill someone. Did this Ghost Face Pavilion Master want to kill Ning Fan? But she wasn't afraid of death, but she didn't want Ning Fan to die. She couldn't allow Ning Fan to die. Slightly gritting her teeth, Ouyang stepped forward and stood in front of Ning Fan's. She mustered up her courage and looked at the Ghost Face Pavilion Master. "I am the disciple of the Medicine Sect Master, Ouyang. He is my husband. If you hurt him, even though the Medicine Sect is not as powerful as the Massacre Hall, they will not let this matter rest." "What? Someone from the Herbal Sect?" The expressions of Old Devil Black Snake and the other bandits changed upon hearing the name of the Herbal Sect. The Medicine Sect was indeed not as powerful as the Slaughter Palace, but it was still the #1 alchemy sect in Eastern Heaven. Even many immortal venerables would occasionally go to the Medicine Sect to ask for pills. Even this group of lawless bandits would not dare to provoke a colossus like the Medicine Sect. They had also heard of the disciple of the Medicine Sect Master, Ouyang. It was said that the sect master of the Medicine Sect was extremely stingy and cold towards others. However, he pampered his disciple to the extreme and was extremely generous. If someone offended the sect leader of the herbal sect, they might be able to appease the sect leader of the herbal sect, who valued wealth as much as his life, by shedding some blood and paying a large number of Dao crystals. However, if anyone were to offend Ouyang Nuan, the medicine sect's sect master would never let them off. He would grind their bones into dust, and his methods would be extremely cold-blooded. The black snake demon and the rest gulped. If the woman before them was truly Ouyang Nuan, then she was the person that the sect master of the medicine sect valued the most. They would never dare to provoke her. Even the half-step true immortal ghost face pavilion master would have to fear the prestige of the medicine sect. But, is this woman really Ouyang Nuan? Old Fiend Black Snake and company carefully sized up Ouyang Nuan. At this moment, Ouyang Nuan was wearing a purple jade. Her appearance could not be said to be old, but it could not be said to be too young or too beautiful. Her white hair was an eyesore, and her small body was too thin. Could a woman like this be the #1 beauty in the medicine sect? It was said that the medicine faction's head disciple, Ouyang Nuan, was a peerless beauty. In the entire eastern sky, she could be considered a first-class beauty. How could the woman in front of him be a beauty? It was impossible for this woman to be Ouyang Nuan. She scared me to death. I thought this woman was really the head disciple of the medicine sect. If she is really the head disciple of the medicine sect, she must have a peerless beauty and she must be protected by one of the 19 medicine guards of the medicine sect. This woman is not Ouyang Nuan at all. The black snake demon sneered and said disdainfully. Ouyang Nuan's face under the light veil became even paler. She laughed at herself. That's right. Now that she no longer had a peerless beauty and Wei Qi was no longer protecting her, who would believe that she was Ouyang Nuan? She was the head disciple of the medicine sect. Ning Fan's cold eyes swept across the black snake demon and the others. He did not say anything and quietly pulled Ouyang Nuan behind him. His heart was filled with a warm feeling. This woman can't even protect herself, yet she still wants to protect me. Silly. Interesting. The head disciple of the medicine sect. How dare you threaten me? Qi the ghost face pavilion master's figure flashed and suddenly disappeared from his original spot. In the next moment he appeared in front of Ning Fan. He lifted his finger and pointed at Ning Fan's heart. Ouyang Nuan's face turned pale with fright while the black snake demon and the others sneered. They all thought that the ghost face pavilion master was going to kill Ning Fan out of anger. Ning Fan was secretly shocked. This ghost face pavilion master's attack was too fast. It was so fast that he had no time to defend himself. Even if he escaped with the Black Devil escape, he would most likely be affected by the force of this finger. Although this person had yet to break through to the true immortal realm, his strength was probably stronger than some true immortals. Gritting his teeth, Ning Fan was about to use the Black Devil escape to escape. Suddenly, he stopped and his eyes were filled with confusion. He realized that although the finger of the ghost face pavilion master was extremely sharp, he did not want to kill him. Instead, he wanted to help him. The force of that finger contained some kind of extremely mysterious baleful qi that seemed to be able to suppress the devil sense. Could it be that this person wants to help me suppress the devil sense? But why does he want to help me? While thinking, Ning Fan gritted his teeth and chose not to escape. Instead, he took the attack from the ghost face pavilion master. When the finger touched his chest, Ning Fan felt a sharp pain in his heart. He coughed out a mouthful of black blood, but his eyes were filled with gratitude. The ghost face pavilion master's finger landed on Ning Fan's chest and infused the baleful qi into it, merging it with the devil sense. At this moment, Ning Fan was incomparably shocked to find out that he could use his own baleful qi to suppress the devil sense. He could even control the devil sense in his body. If the devil sense were to devour his heart again, he would no longer be lost as long as he used his baleful qi to protect his heart. Husband, are you all right? Are you all right? Don't scare Nuan air. When Ouyang Nuan saw Ning Fan spurting out blood from his middle finger, she felt as if her heart was being pierced by a knife. It was so painful, she raised her head and stared at the ghost face pavilion master coldly. She hated herself for being weak and weak. She hated herself for not being able to tear this person into pieces. For the first time in her life, Ouyang had the intention to kill someone. Don't be afraid. I'm not dead. This senior doesn't have any evil intentions towards me. Just now, he helped me to control the devil sense in my body. Ning Fan smiled at Ouyang and transmitted his voice to her. Really? How is that possible? The people of the Slaughter Palace only know how to kill and never save people. He is a dignified half-step true immortal. Why would he help you control the devil sense? Besides, even my master, Senior Qian, couldn't completely suppress the devil sense in your body. What kind of ability does this person have to help you control the devil sense? Ouyang face was filled with disbelief as she transmitted her voice to Ning Fan. No matter what, she finally felt relieved after hearing that Ning Fan was fine. At that moment just now, she was really afraid that Ning Fan would die in the hands of this ghost face pavilion master. Thank you. Ning Fan cupped his fists at the ghost face pavilion master. He was clearly hit by the finger, but not only was he unharmed, he even became more spirited than before. The mouthful of black blood that he spat out was probably the component of the devil sense that was hard to control. After getting rid of these components, the devil sense had already become a part of Ning Fan's strength, a force that could increase his strength. Ning Fan was also very surprised. The Quasi-Emperor Tai Wu could not help him control the devil sense. Even Qian Kayan, who was a dignified true immortal, could not do it. However, the Ghost Face Pavilion Master, who was a half-step true immortal, did it. It was not because his cultivation base was higher than the Quasi-Emperor Tai Wu. Instead, it was because his finger technique was too mysterious. It seemed to be able to restrain baleful qi and devil sense. Without a doubt, that finger technique was the Slaughter Palace's divine ability. Ning Fan's mind raced. Perhaps the divine ability of the Slaughter Palace itself was based on baleful qi and devil sense. That was why it could control the baleful qi and devil sense so easily. In that case, if I can really join the Slaughter Palace, not only will I not need to get rid of the devil sense in my body, it can even become a powerful killing method for me. The Ghost Face Pavilion Master only responded indifferently to Ning Fan's thanks. His body flashed and he returned to the other side of the counter. The old devil Black Snake and the others looked at Ning Fan in confusion. They could not understand why Ning Fan was not killed by the Ghost Face Pavilion Master and was merely injured by a finger. Could it be that the Ghost Face Pavilion Master was in a good mood today and spared Ning Fan's life out of kindness? Was that why Ning Fan thanked him? What a lucky kid! The old devil Black Snake sighed with emotion. These 7 heads are worth 50 million Dao crystals. After deducting 20%, you will get 40 million Dao crystals. The Ghost Face Pavilion Master flicked his sleeve and kept the 7 heads. Then he lifted his finger and a storage pouch appeared on the counter. It contained 40 million Dao crystals. The old devil Black Snake took the storage pouch and bowed respectfully to the Ghost Face Pavilion Master without saying a word. Then, the group of them left the Slaughter Pavilion in a hurry, not daring to stay any longer. Looking at the old devil Black Snake's figure that left in a hurry, Ning Fan's eyes flashed. He naturally noticed that the group of bandits had a black snake tattoo on their left arm. They were all members of the Black Snake Bandits. That black-robed rogue immortal old man is the bandit leader of the Black Snake Bandits, the old devil Black Snake. This person is very protective of his people. If he finds out that 4 of his subordinates were killed by you after he returns, he will certainly bring his men back to seek revenge. Ouyang reminded him through telepathy. Don't be afraid. I, your husband, am very powerful. Even if the Black Snake Bandits are abandoned, they won't be a threat to me. Ning Fan replied with a smile. Don't talk nonsense. Saying that you are my husband is just an expedient measure. Ouyang said angrily. I, on the other hand, feel that this title isn't bad. Ning Fan smiled and raised his head. His smile faded and he stared at the Ghost Face Pavilion Master with a solemn expression. Why did this person help me? Does he have some ulterior motives, or is he just being kind? Is this person a friend or a foe? Little friend Qianqiu, you don't have to worry. I don't have any evil intentions or ulterior motives in helping you. I'm just doing it on a whim. I have heard from the pavilion master of Shaoza Star that you are a good seedling who cultivates the Tao of slaughter. Today, I can see that it is indeed true. Since you are able to cultivate so much devil sense when you are just at the void fragmentation realm, you will certainly be a promising talent if you join my Tao of slaughter. The ghost-faced pavilion master seemed to have seen through Ning Fan's concerns and explained with an indifferent tone. I see. Ning Fan nodded his head, seemingly accepting this reason. If this ghost-faced pavilion master had already heard about me from Lord Zhu of the Slaughter Pavilion of Shaoza Star and helped me out of cherishing talent, then everything would naturally make sense. However, was this really the case? Ning Fan faintly felt that there was another reason why this person helped him. Cultivators at the second step of Tao cultivation were also fond of spiritual equipment. The spiritual equipment above the profound spirit realm was divided into 3 grades: immortal grade, true grade, and emperor grade. The ghost mask that this ghost-faced pavilion master was wearing was a true grade spiritual equipment. It could conceal one's chi without exposing a single bit. Even ordinary true immortals would not be able to detect his chi and appearance. Even though the ghost-faced pavilion master's chi was concealed, Ning Fan still felt a sense of familiarity from him. The burly figure of this person was very familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. This sense of familiarity came and went quickly. When Ning Fan carefully examined the figure of the ghost-faced pavilion master again, he felt that such a burly figure was just too common in the cultivation world. Was that sense of familiarity just an illusion? Forget it. No matter if this person was a friend or foe, Ning Fan decided to keep his guard up against him. What happened to Wei Qi had alerted Ning Fan. The reason why I came here today is to submit the Red Bounty mission and buy some information. Recollecting his thoughts, Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out 17 sealed human heads. They were the heads of the devils that he had killed previously. The ghost-faced pavilion master's eyes swept across the human heads and said indifferently, "These 17 human heads are worth 140 million Tao crystals. After deducting 20%, you will get 112 million Tao crystals. At the same time, the total reward you have obtained is more than 30 million Tao crystals. No disciples of the Slaughter Palace will attack you." As soon as he finished speaking, the ghost-faced pavilion master flicked his sleeve and kept the 17 human heads. Then, he took out a storage pouch and placed it on the counter. Ning Fan was not in a hurry to take the storage pouch. Instead, he asked, "I want to buy some information from you. May I know the price?" "One information, one price. Tell me the information you want and I will tell you the price. Pay me and I will give you the information in the jade slip." The ghost-faced pavilion master's eyes revealed a meaningful smile. The way he addressed Ning Fan had changed from "this seat" to "I." His tone actually carried a hint of intimacy. "Ning Fan, he really doesn't have any ill intentions towards you. He only has good intentions. My 5-colored medicine soul can sense people's hearts. But why?" Ouyang Nuan transmitted her voice to Ning Fan doubtfully. "I don't know. Don't trust the medicine soul too much. It's hard to predict a person's heart." Ning Fan replied. After a short moment of silence, he asked the ghost-faced pavilion master in a distant tone, "I need some immortal soul herbs. Where can I find them?" The immortal soul herbs originally grew on the immortal soul star. However, the immortal soul star was barren now. Not even a single blade of grass could be found there. The information about the immortal soul herbs? The price is 200 million Tao crystals. 200 million for a piece of information. Ning Fan sighed softly. He took out 88 million Tao crystals from his storage pouch and put them into another storage pouch. Then he placed it on the counter. Together with the previous reward, it was exactly 200 million. This is the information you want. The ghost-faced pavilion master kept the Tao crystals and took out a blood-red jade slip, handing it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan received the jade slip and scanned its contents with his spirit sense. His expression immediately changed. There were only a few simple sentences in the information. Ever since the immortal soul star was destroyed, there are no more immortal soul herbs in this world. However, there are still a small number of seeds of the immortal soul herb remaining in this world. There are also a few descendants of the soul race who have the secret technique to grow the immortal soul herb. The immortal soul herb cannot be grown without the secret technique of the soul race. Ning Fan spent 200 million Dao crystals to buy a piece of information, but it was not very useful. I also have the information about the seeds of the immortal soul herb and the secret technique to grow the immortal soul herb. Do you want to buy them? The Ghost Face Pavilion Master asked with a smile. Ning Fan was slightly stunned. Then, his expression turned strange. This slaughter pavilion sure knows how to make money. They can even sell the information about the immortal soul herb like this. He was determined to get the immortal soul herb. Since there were no more immortal soul herbs in this world, he could only find the seeds and the secret technique to grow them himself. He must buy these 2 pieces of information. May I know how much these 2 pieces of information are worth? Ning Fan asked. The information about the seeds is 200 million Dao crystals, while the information about the secret technique is 300 million Dao crystals. 500 million, huh? Ning Fan scanned his storage pouch with his spirit sense. At this moment, there were only 450 million Dao crystals left in his storage pouch. He did not expect the information of the slaughter pavilion to be so expensive. He was already considered very rich among the 4 heavens void fragmentation realm experts. However, he could not afford a few pieces of information at all. Husband, this is for you? When Yangwan saw Ning Fan's embarrassed look, she found it interesting. She untied her storage pouch and handed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan lacked money, but she had never lacked it. She could tell that the information about the immortal soul herb was extremely important to Ning Fan. Since Ning Fan could not afford it, she would help him buy it. This is your money. How can I use it? Ning Fan's expression was slightly awkward. I have even given my life to you. What's the harm in giving you some worldly possessions? I will give you my storage pouch now. Do you think you don't need to spend money to find the longevity jade? You don't need to treat me like an outsider. Yangwan hugged the little furball in her arms. She was in a good mood. The little furball looked at Ning Fan in confusion. It did not understand why its father would feel ashamed spending its mother's money. It's me who is too meticulous about the small details. Ning Fan's expression changed, and he kept Yangwan's storage pouch without changing his expression. He took out 500 million Dao crystals from it and paid Ghost Face Pavilion Master to buy 2 sets of information. Ning Fan could not help but admit that Yangwan was much richer than him. There were actually more than 50 billion Dao crystals in that small storage pouch. There were more than 20 tufts of 1 million years old spiritual herbs, 7 9th revolution healing pills, and 1 58th revolution healing pills. There was also the 3,000 years old immortal peach tree and various rare ancient herbs. The total value of the items in this storage pouch was at least 100 billion Dao crystals. After scanning the 2 sets of information with his spirit sense, Ning Fan's expression changed again. The secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb was in the hands of Han Tianjun, one of the 10 ancient heavenly monarchs. Han Tianjun was a descendant of the soul race. He possessed the spiritual plant scripture which recorded the secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb. That spiritual plant scripture was stored in Han Tianjun's treasure vault. If one wants to obtain the scripture, he would have to steal it. Han Tianjun was cold-blooded and cruel by nature. He was a natural-born bandit. It was absolutely impossible to buy the spiritual plant's scripture from him. The information about the secret technique of planting the immortal soul herb was extremely useful to Ning Fan. The 300 million Dao crystals were not spent in vain. As for the information about the seeds of the immortal soul herb, it was too much of a loss. There was only 1 sentence in this piece of information. I happen to have a small bag of the seeds of the immortal soul herb. Do you want it? Ning Fan looked at Ghost Face Pavilion Master speechlessly. Does Senior really have the seeds of the immortal soul herb? Of course I do. Ghost Face Pavilion Master said seriously. Ning Fan remained silent. He was a little confused about the situation. Is this Ghost Face Pavilion Master trying to deceive me of the Dao crystals on purpose? This person purposely sold the information separately. Even though he had the seeds of the immortal soul herb in his hands, he did not sell them to him directly. Instead, he said that he had the seeds of the immortal soul herb after earning more money. Would a dignified half-step true immortal realm old monster really covet Ningfan's hundreds of millions of Dao crystals? With Ghost Face Pavilion Master's strength, wouldn't it be faster to snatch Ouyang Nuan's 50 billion Dao crystals from Ningfan's hands? Ningfan could not understand it. If this person was not greedy for money, then he was purposely making fun of him. What exactly is this person planning? Why did he do so many illogical things? I really don't have any ulterior motives. I just want to play a little joke with an old friend. Why are you so nervous, Brother Ning? Ghost Face Pavilion Master could no longer hold back his laughter and burst into laughter. Ningfan was stunned. Then, he suddenly understood something and looked at Ghost Face Pavilion Master in disbelief. It's you. That's right. It's me. Brother Ning, how have you been? Ghost Face Pavilion Master laughed. He put away the Ghost Face spiritual outfit and revealed his true appearance. The way he looked at Ningfan was filled with a sincere smile. How is this possible? The Ghost Face assassin of the Slaughter Palace actually showed his true appearance. Ouyang Nuan stared at Ningfan in disbelief. In the Slaughter Palace, not everyone had a ghost face. Only a small number of experts were recognized by Sha Di and were given the Ghost Face spiritual outfit. Even the members of the Slaughter Palace rarely knew whether or not each other had a ghost face and what kind of ghost face they had. She did not expect that the Ghost Face Pavilion Master of the Slaughter Pavilion would meet Ningfan with his true appearance. Moreover, it seemed like he was Ningfan's old friend. Husband, who is he? Ouyang Nuan asked speechlessly. No wonder Ghost Face Pavilion Master helped Ningfan to suppress his devil sense. It turned out that he was Ningfan's friend. However, this friend of his was too unkind. He didn't reveal his identity earlier and made her worry for half a day. Without waiting for Ningfan's introduction, Ghost Face Pavilion Master laughed and introduced himself. I am Wu Chen, the Wu who has no respect for the law, and the Chen who massacred people in a city. There were outsiders here just now, so it was really inconvenient for me to reveal my identity. Please forgive me if I have offended you. Sister-in-law. Ouyang Nuan blushed and did not know what to say. Wu Chen suddenly stopped smiling. He took out a small green pouch and passed it to Ningfan. I was joking with Brother Ning just now. I hope Brother Ning won't mind. This is the seed of the immortal soul grass that I obtained by chance. If Brother Ning needs it, you can just take it. As for the secret technique of planting the immortal soul grass, I will accompany Brother Ning to find that Han Tianjun later. I believe he won't dare to refuse to hand over the secret technique. Thank you. Ningfan cupped his fists and bowed. He naturally did not mind Wu Chen's teasing. Wu Chen waved his hand, signaling Ningfan not to be so courteous. Then, he glanced at Ouyang Nuan again and said to Ningfan with a slight frown. Sister-in-law's body doesn't seem to be in good condition. Brother Ning, are you here to inquire about other information? Yes. The reason why I came here today is not only to inquire about the immortal soul grass but also about the longevity jade. I want to join the Slaughter Palace. After making a great contribution, I will ask Sha Di to bestow me the longevity jade. Ningfan did not need to lie to Wu Chen. He did not have many good friends and Wu Chen was one of them. You want the longevity jade that belongs to Sha Di? Wu Chen's expression changed drastically. After taking a deep breath, Wu Chen's expression became unprecedentedly serious. He tried to dissuade Ningfan. No one is allowed to covet the item that belongs to Sha Di. Even if you join the Slaughter Palace and become its disciple, making a great contribution, it will still be very difficult for you to get that longevity jade. As far as I know, Sha Di values this item very much. It seems like it holds a special meaning to him. He will not bestow the jade to anyone. If you ask for the jade, you might infuriate him and he will directly sentence you to death. Even if I offer the elder token to him, I won't be able to get it. I have to get the longevity jade. Even though I know the chances are slim, I still want to go to the slaughter palace and give it a try. If I don't have this jade. Ning Fan clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. Then he looked at Ouyang Nuan, who was beside him. Without the longevity jade, Ouyang Nuan would certainly die 20 years later. All the emotions in his heart were stuck in his chest, making him feel annoyed. He did not want to watch Ouyang Nuan die in front of him. He must do something. The Elder Token. Could it be the Elder Token of Elder Linglong? How is this possible? How could the Elder Token that Shadi could not find anywhere in the world be in your hands? Wu Chen exclaimed in disbelief. Chapter 714. Elder's Order. Elder Linglong's Elder Order. Wu Chen exclaimed in disbelief. Now, there was only one Elder Order that the Slaughter Palace had yet to retrieve. That Elder Token was also of special significance to Shadi. Where did Ning Fan find the Elder Token? You don't know where I found the Elder's Order? Ning Fan looked at Wu Chen in surprise. Didn't Wu Chen tell him to use the Ascension Passage? Could it be that there was something inside that Wu Chen didn't know about? How would I know where you found the Elder's Token? If I knew, I would have taken it myself and brought it back to Slaughter Palace. Do you think it's your turn to take it? Do you know how much Shadi values that Elder's Token? If we can retrieve that token, the merit would be really. Wu Chen looked at Ning Fan enviously. He really envied Ning Fan to death. He could find the item that the killing emperor had been longing for. If Ning Fan was just a stranger, perhaps Wu Chen would have already killed him to seize his treasures and token to claim credit. Unfortunately, Ning Fan was his friend. He would never take away his friend's treasure. This was his principle. Seeing that Wu Chen really did not know anything about it, Ning Fan could not help but laugh and explain. Do you still remember our reunion in the Sword World? Didn't you help me calculate an Ascension Passage? It's in the Rain World. I found the Elder's Order in that Ascension Passage. What? Where did you find the Elder Order? So it's there? No wonder the Shadi couldn't find the Elder's Order even after searching the entire Four Heavens Immortal Realm. Wu Chen suddenly had the urge to strangle himself. When he helped Ning Fan calculate the Ascension Passage back then, it was definitely just a sudden impulse. He just wanted to calculate which ascension would be the most helpful to Ning Fan. As a result, he accidentally calculated that there was an Ascension Passage hidden in the Rain World. Unfortunately, that was all he could calculate. As for which almighty being had secretly opened up the passageway, he couldn't figure it out. He didn't expect that he, Wu Chen, would be able to predict the location of Elder Linglong's death and the location of the Elder Token with just a simple calculation with his fingers. At that time, he had already fully comprehended the truth and was in a hurry to return to Eastern Sky. Unexpectedly, he didn't have the time to investigate that passage. Just like that, Wu Chen miserably missed the opportunity to become an elder. This was Ning Fan's chance. It was a chance that Wu Chen had given to him. Others could not find the place of Fu Linglong's death even if they were courting death. Wu Chen, on the other hand, had found the place, but he did not have the opportunity to find the Elder Token. Ning Fan was the only one who obtained Fu Linglong's Elder Token by accident. If he presents the token to Shadi in exchange for the longevity jade, Shadi might really agree to it. Of course, it was just a possibility. Brother Ning, you definitely don't have black luck. At the very least, you have the first grade of mortal luck, the purple luck. Wu Chen looked at Ning Fan confidently. Oh, Brother Wu, why are you so sure that I don't have black luck? Ning Fan smiled noncommittally. Nonsense. Can a cultivator with bad luck find something that even an immortal emperor can't? Wu Chen snorted coldly. Seeing that Ning Fan did not know much about fate, he briefly explained the relationship between the strength of one's fate and the number of fortuitous encounters. The amount of fortuitous encounters a cultivator had was related to their luck and cultivation level. At the same cultivation level, those with stronger providence would naturally have more fortuitous encounters. For those with the same luck, the weaker their cultivation level was, the more fortuitous encounters they would have. Wu Chen was also a cultivator with purple luck. Unfortunately, he did not have the fortuitous encounter to obtain that elder token because his cultivation level was too high. As a half-step true immortal realm cultivator, it was really not strange for him to have purple luck. Cultivators at the same level as him would at least have purple luck. It was very difficult for the fortuitous encounters bestowed by the heavens to Wu Qin. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was different. His cultivation level was still very low. If he had purple luck, the benefits would naturally be great. If a void fragmentation realm cultivator of the same level as him were to compete for fortuitous encounters, who could compete with Ning Fan for purple luck? Most of the cultivators with the same luck were life immortal realm cultivators. If they were to compete for fortuitous encounters, not many of them would be able to compete with Ning Fan. Wu Qin still did not know that Ning Fan already had the first color of immortal luck. In the Eastern Heaven immortal world, normally, only cultivators at the true crossing realm could cultivate their luck to the first color. However, Ning Fan had cultivated one color of immortal luck when he was at the void fragmentation realm. In other words, most of the old monsters at the true crossing realm would not be able to compete with Ning Fan for fortuitous encounters. After all, Ning Fan's cultivation level could not be any lower among those who had the same luck as him. No wonder I was able to obtain heaven-defying treasures time and time again even though I only had purple luck in the past. So this is the reason. There are also benefits to having a low cultivation level, right? Ning Fan muttered to himself thoughtfully. After talking a lot of nonsense, Wu Qin suddenly slapped his forehead and smiled awkwardly. I forgot that we were talking about the longevity jade. Why are we getting further and further away from the topic? I suppose the reason why Ning Fan is so persistent in searching for the longevity jade is because of my sister-in-law, right? Wu Qin glanced at Ouyang and let out a long sigh. Even though he had only met Ning Fan a few times, they hit it off very well. Moreover, he knew Ning Fan's character very well. If it wasn't for this woman, why would Ning Fan risk the wrath of Sha Di and insist on going to the Slaughter Palace to obtain the longevity jade? Without the longevity jade, Nuan Er will die 20 years later. Ning Fan frowned and said, Nuan Er. Ouyang cheeks turned red again. She moved her feet slightly and stomped on Ning Fan's body a few times as a warning. Since when did she allow Ning Fan to call her that? Just as I expected. Since Brother Ning has found the Elder Command token, then everything will be much easier. The merit of presenting the token is enough for Sha Di to consider giving you the longevity jade. Of course, it's just a consideration. No one knows whether Sha Di will actually give you the longevity jade or not. I still have to try before I can be satisfied, don't I? Ning Fan sighed. Go and try. However, before that, Ning Fan must first find a way to join the Slaughter Palace and meet Sha Di personally. Then he will present the token to him. Before he presents the token, he must not reveal any information about the token to prevent the old monsters in the palace from killing him and snatching the token. Speaking of which, Brother Ning's luck is really good. Our Slaughter Palace will only recruit one disciple every 1,000 years. The Grand Disciple Acceptance Ceremony of the Slaughter Palace this time will be 10 years later. Sister-in-law still has 20 years to live. As long as Brother Ning can join the Slaughter Palace before that and present the Elder Token to obtain the longevity jade, her life will be saved. However, it's not an easy task to go to the main palace of the Slaughter Palace within 10 years to participate in the Grand Disciple Acceptance Ceremony. Wu Qin held his chin and frowned as if he was thinking of a solution. Ouyang looked at Ning Fan blankly. She never knew that Ning Fan had actually decided to go to the Slaughter Palace to obtain the most dangerous longevity jade to help her prolong her life. Yes, the longevity jade was the most difficult and dangerous one to obtain. The danger of obtaining the jade from Sha Di was incomparable to the danger in the true immortal land. It was completely a gamble. Fu Linglong's Elder Token was just a wager. Ning Fan was betting that Sha Di would give him the longevity jade in consideration of his contribution in presenting the token. If he loses the wager, even if he did not die after obtaining the Void Glimpse stage killing Emperor's jade, he would still end up in a miserable state. If Sha Di wants to kill or punish someone, There was almost no one in the eastern heaven who could save him. Ning Fan, let's go look for money. No, let's go look for my master. Let's go look for the longevity jade in the true immortal land. Don't take the jade from Shadi. It's too dangerous. Oh, Yangwon bit her lips and advised him. You've said that your master has traveled to countless true immortal land in the four heavens immortal worlds for 8,000 years, but he still could not find that longevity jade. That longevity jade is just too difficult to find. Shadi's jade is the most likely to be obtained. Let's go and try. Even if we can't get the jade, Shadi will probably spare my life considering my contribution in presenting the token. But what if Brother Ning is in trouble, I will go and save him. No matter what, I will definitely protect your life. My ancestors have been members of the Slaughter Palace for generations. My ancestors had made great contributions and were given a death exemption token. With this token in hand, apart from the crime of betraying the palace, you can be exempted from any crime. After pondering for a moment, Wu Chen took out a golden token from his storage pouch and passed it to Ning Fan. The word exemption was engraved on the token. It was written in divine seal script. This token was Wu Chen's life-saving item. It was incomparably precious. Ning Fan's eyes widened slightly. He looked deeply at Wu Chen and received the death exemption token without rejecting it. I will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Wu Chen shook his head disapprovingly and laughed. What kindness? I just don't want to lose a fair-weather friend like you. He had never befriended anyone in his life. Ning Fan was his first fair-weather friend. They drank wine together, watched the rain together and comprehended the Tao together. When his friend is in trouble, he would naturally do his best to help him. If he is in trouble, Ning Fan would certainly not ignore him. The main hall of the Slaughter Palace is located in the Blood Sea Star region of the Imperial Star region. From here, you will need to cross 15 high-grade star regions, 200 mid-grade star regions and 5,000 low-grade star regions to reach the Blood Sea Star region. It's just too far away. With my speed, it will take me 12 to 13 years to reach the Blood Sea Star region even if I fly at full speed. Even if I have the intention to send you guys to the Blood Sea Star region, I won't be able to reach it within 10 years. Moreover, I'm currently in charge of overseeing this slaughter pavilion, so I can't leave this pavilion for too long. I can only leave the pavilion for more than a month after someone else replaces me. Therefore, Brother Ning can only rely on yourself to go to Blood Sea Star Field this time. The Blood Sea Star Field is the Imperial Star Field. You'll need the Imperial Star Plate to get there. It's very difficult for cultivators from the outside world to buy the Blood Sea Star Plate. This is my Star Plate. You can use it. If you want to reach the Blood Sea Star Field within 10 years, you can only buy a large number of Stargate Jade Slips. A set of Stargate Jade Slips has 100,000 Tao crystals, and you will need about 300,000 Jade Slips. How many Tao crystals does Brother Ning currently have? Wu Chen took out his Emperor Star Disc and gave it to Ning Fan. The Stargate Jade Slip was a special kind of Realm Gate Jade Slip. It could open the Stargate and allow one to travel 500 billion miles in one go. It was a must-have item for many life immortal realm cultivators, and it was very expensive. Due to the slow opening of the Stargate, it wasn't suitable to open the Stargate to escape during battle. However, the Stargate Jade Slip would be very useful if it was used for traveling. A Stargate Jade Slip was priced at 100,000 myriad Tao crystals. 10 Stargate Jade Slips were more than enough to pass through a low-level starfield. About 5 to 600 Stargate Jade Slips were needed to pass through a mid-level starfield. About 10,000 Stargate Jade Slips were needed to pass through a high-level starfield. Based on this calculation, if he wanted to reach the Blood Sea Starfield quickly, he would need to buy about 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips. According to the price of 100,000 Tao crystals per Stargate Jade Slip, he would need at least 30 billion Tao crystals. It doesn't matter. We have 50 billion Tao crystals. It's enough to buy the Jade Slips. I just don't know where I can buy so many Stargate Jade Slips. When the Life Immortal Realm cultivators travel, they usually only bring a few thousand Stargate Jade Slips. 300,000 Stargate Jade Slips isn't a small number. I'm afraid even an ordinary mid-level trading planet doesn't have so many of them. Yang-won was quite familiar with space travel. Knowing that it wasn't easy to buy 300,000 Stargate Jade slips, she felt a little worried. It's alright. As long as we have enough money, just leave it to me. I will definitely be able to buy 300,000 Stargate Jade slips within a month. Within this month, Brother Ning and sister-in-law will stay here and wait for my good news. Brother Ning, give me 30 billion Dao crystals. I will help you buy the jade slips. I don't need 30 billion. 20 billion is enough. Those life immortal realm forces won't dare to refuse me even if the price is lower when they see me buying them. Wu Chen laughed and asked for the 20 billion Dao crystals from Ning Fan. Then he changed his appearance and revealed his ghost face. He concealed his chi and walked into the inner room of the slaughter pavilion. After that, he gave a few instructions to the children. Then he strode out of the slaughter pavilion, leaving Ning Fan and Yang-won to look at each other. Big brother Wu Chen is really a good person. He actually helped us with all his heart. Yang-won sighed. I'm afraid I won't be able to repay the favor I owe him in this lifetime. Ning Fan sighed softly. A feeling that he had never felt before suddenly rose in his heart. Two gold core realm children with bloodshot eyes walked out of the inner room. One of them stayed outside and was in charge of receiving the other cultivators and handing over the tasks. The other person led Ning Fan and Yang-won into the inner room to rest. This place was the slaughter pavilion. It was extremely safe. If Ning Fan and Yang-won stayed here, even the 10 great heavenly monarchs of the ancient star region would not dare to trespass this place and find trouble with Ning Fan. Wu Chen would leave the ancient star region for a month and head to some of the bigger star regions nearby to plunder star plates. As for Ning Fan and Yang-won, they would stay in the slaughter pavilion for a month. 1 month later, Wu Chen returned with 300,000 star plates. Then he brought Ning Fan to Han Tianjun to ask for the spiritual plant scripture. During this month, Ning Fan decided to improve his strength properly. He still had 1 ascension pill, 1 life immortal dragon pearl, and more than 30 billion Dao crystals. Ning Fan pondered for a while and called the child over. He wanted to ask him to buy another emergence pill in Eastern Spirit City. The child was a member of the slaughter pavilion. The bandits outside would not dare to kill him and seize his treasures. Ning Fan decided to improve his cultivation base to the peak of the void fragmentation realm before he leaves the slaughter pavilion. After that, he would go to the profound Yin world and improve his cultivation base within a month. As for Yang-won, she would stay in the Yuan Yao world to rest for the time being. After all, it would be hard for him to feel at ease if he left her outside. Old Devil Black Snake nearly went mad with anger. As soon as he left the slaughter pavilion, he heard that the 4 leaders of his Black Snake bandits were killed by Ning Fan. In a fit of rage, Old Devil Black Snake immediately summoned all the void fragmentation realm experts of the Black Snake bandits and secretly surrounded the slaughter pavilion. He did not dare to enter the slaughter pavilion and act wantonly. However, as soon as Ning Fan steps out of the pavilion, he would certainly tear him into pieces. He was just that overbearing and protective of his people. Since Ning Fan touched his people, he deserved to die. Time passed by slowly. Ever since Ning Fan entered the slaughter pavilion, he never came out again. After a long time, Ghost Face Pavilion Master walked out with a cold aura. As soon as he saw Old Devil Black Snake, he sneered. If you don't leave within 3 breaths, you will die. When Old Devil Black Snake and the other bandits heard Ghost Face Pavilion Master's cold words, their souls almost left their bodies. No one dared to disobey his orders. Even the 10 heavenly monarchs would not dare to speak loudly in front of him. At this moment, Old Devil Black Snake no longer remembered his hatred towards Ning Fan. Without hesitation, he directly gave the order. Retreat! Retreat! They had no choice but to retreat. Didn't they hear Ghost Face Pavilion Master's order? If they don't leave within 3 breaths, they will die. All the void fragmentation realm experts of the Black Snake bandits used their fastest speed to escape from this place. Old Fiend Black Snake smiled apologetically at Ghostface Pavilion Master before glaring fiercely at Slaughter Pavilion Master. He cursed softly, "Thousand Autumn, consider yourself lucky. The next time we meet, I'll definitely tear you to shreds." With a sneer, Old Devil Black Snake desperately escaped from this place, not daring to touch Ghostface Pavilion Master's tiger whiskers. He did not know that when he threatened to tear Ning Fan into pieces, Ghostface Pavilion Master's eyes flashed with killing intent. In the end, it turned into a ferocious smile. This was Wu Chen's smile when he was about to kill. Without any explanation or warning, Wu Chen suddenly took a step forward. His body turned into hundreds of blood shadows and chased after each of the bandits. The blood shadows had already caught up with each of the bandits at a terrifying speed. With a sweep, all of them lost their flesh and blood, turning into dried bones that fell from the sky. The scene was extremely horrifying. After a breath, all the bandits were dead, turning into white bones that littered the ground. Old Devil Black Snake could not understand why Ghostface Pavilion Master would kill him all of a sudden. Hundreds of blood shadows merged into one. Wu Chen licked his lips and sneered. He kept the hundreds of storage pouches and flew towards the outside of the ancient star region. How could this bunch of cats and dogs harm his friends? That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.